audio feed too.
Oh yes, that's right. Fix that. 1 moment.
From you're live right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Let me see, my controllers are on. Yep, controllers are working. We're good to go. All right. In-game audio. Do need that. On audio. All right, got in-game audio.
Okay, let's see.
All right, we're ready to go. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We're gonna go over Lilith with my boy Diar.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, everybody?
Yep. Diar, give an introduction for yourself. How long have you been playing the game for? You know, any accomplishments and stuff like that.
So I started playing VSAV around the heydays of Street Fighter 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, everybody was just all Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 4.
Yep, I remember those times.
And eventually, when Super Street Fighter 4 came out, I got sick of it, and I was branching out to other retro titles. At the time, we had GGPO open up to the world. The only games available at the time was Street Fighter Alpha 2, King of Fighters 98, and this title, Vampire Savior. And that's how I started out, like branching out, and I found this gem. And from there on, I competed and played both online, offline for over a decade for this game.
Yep, you've certainly been around for a long time, man.
Oh yeah.
Describe Lilith as a character and archetype.
So, Lilith, this might be crazy to say. I like to think she's very honest. All she has is great normals, an uppercut, and a fireball. The only character with a super jump, and she has speed and damage. She has to work quite hard just to get anything going, because what's stopping a lot of players from picking this character up is definitely the execution factor.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say is the execution requirements?
Honestly, this character feels like an 8 on
8.
the execution requirement.
Yeah, I gotta kind of agree with you there. Luminous illusion stuff is very difficult. And just general like control of the character. It's definitely a necessary component for the character. Although you can game plan around not doing it, it is definitely become less effective of a character without being able to land any luminous illusion. Because of how versatile it is. Okay, with that, let's get started with the normals, man. Let's start off with a good old jab.
So, stand jab. By itself, it's plus. So, for this, what's so interesting about this normal? When you're against, like...
Before, I gotta specify this is the far jab.
Yeah, far jab.
Yep.
So, what's so special about the far jab? You might not be able to believe it, it actually can anti-air at max range versus a hopping Sasquatch.
A hopping Sasquatch.
Now, but at max tip range, you can sort of...
Let's try it against Hopping Wolf. There you go.
That's a good example, like that. Stuff like that. But you gotta be careful too. You might get traded. You might eat it. So
yeah.
Just be careful with that.
Yeah, the damage outputs. There's a lot of risk pertaining to that. It's an effective kind of like anti-hop deterrent, but you know, like you're not doing much damage, so it's not gonna really get them to stop doing it. You can barely hear Diar. Let me try turning him up.
Okay.
Max volume.
Hello.
Can you hear him now, Mobius?
Testing.
Let me try upping the desktop audio as well. Go ahead, man.
Hello. Is that any better?
More down, and it should be good.
Okay.
Yo, let me know in the chat, Mobius. Is it good? Okay, yeah. Cool. No problem. Right, cool. All right, there you go. Turned to 200%. So, as we were stating, stand jab is very good. It's a sort of a deterrent for some dashes, sort of similar to how like KOF players would use their dash, kind of stop people from coming in, right?
Yeah.
You may also be able to possibly anti-air. I think if you're at a max range sort of scenario, if you can get it to reach, it's a little difficult on Wolf because he's kind of fucking weird, but like most of the time, if you don't angle your character properly, because like you can see that there's a hurt box in there, so it's not recommended to do that because you'll probably trade 9 times out of 10, or you'll just straight out lose, right? Like at best, you could want to trade, but against dashing attacks, it's fine.
Right.
Okay, and yeah, as we stated, it's plus. I also feel like it's a necessary component for some dashing offense because you can like when you're coming in with a dashing jab, you get stuff like that to happen. Keep the opponent in check, so that way you can kind of keep them grounded, keep them honest, and then that will apply to the rest of the game plan that we'll get over a little later. But that's where I feel about this normal for right now. And then let's go over the cousin normal, which is close jab, which is slightly different, but still utilized in the same manner.
So what's so special about close jab? It's not normally used in all the matchups in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very specialized in the infamous infinite block string against Anakaris.
Yeah, so I'll explain the infinite block string, and it's since we're on this normal, we can kind of just go over it. Against Anakaris, since he lacks a push block, the infinite block string would be like crouch jab into dashing jab. Is that correct?
Yes, it has to be close. Close stand light punch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so
that,
it'll look like this. This enables you to lock down Anakaris permanently. So your goal in the matchup, if you felt that you wanted to do that, you just want to get a life lead, and then the match is definitely over as long as you have execution. You can retain this for 99 seconds, right?
Yep.
So that's her lockdown string. Against other characters, though, it's still effective as a pressure tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know they obviously have like push block and guard cancels and stuff like that to go against this attack. And then let's go over the fact. So we didn't go over the fact that stand jab and close jab. Some characters can duck under it, like this character.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit careful with it. Let's take a look at the hitbox real quick on it. So the hitbox is a little bit better than the actual far stand jab in theory. But again, it's not going to be like, it'll be like one of those tools where like you can use situationally to walk under people, and then you might be able to get a stand jab to anti-air like that. That's one like tool that you can use. This is more effective if you're using walking, because dashing you're just gonna always be facing the same direction if you dash under people. So it's more effective as a walking tool. Stand jab and close stand jab would achieve the same result. So, but that's the state on this normal. The normal is massively plus. It's used in tandem to get people in check if they're trying to jump out of your pressure. Is there anything special about like because I do know that there's render bonus. Do you utilize that at all?
So render bonus, it's honestly, it's not too useful because you're still susceptible to guard cancels, push block you said earlier. It's not something you would normally go for.
Gotcha. So to explain render bonus, so basically, what you have the page up, right? What's this close jab? How plus is it non-rendered?
Non-render on
Is it like
block +5, on hit +6.
Okay, and then if I chain 2 jabs, what is it?
Let's see. Hold on. So you're gonna get a bonus on hit +9, on block +8.
So when you do a chained normal like this, you achieve more frame advantage, and that is called render bonus. We don't know why it's in the game, but it is a thing, right? So you can achieve more frame advantage. Now, whether it's useful for the character or not, it's debatable, right? You can obviously get like tighter frame traps with it, and utilize like different normals. So like let's say I did this would still work, right? But if I did 2 jabs, it'll make it like a frame easier, right?
Yep, like that, yeah.
And that'll keep them grounded. So, which is a much different situation. So just to be aware. But Lilith generally doesn't have too many uses for renda bonus. So, and that's pretty much it for that. The jabs, I feel. Let's go over stand medium punch.
Oh, stand medium punch. Easily one of her staples, because even adding dashing stand mid punch, you're adding extra frame advantage. And that's also your farthest poke for pressure and for neutral too.
Okay. Yep. It definitely feels like it's adding extra frame advantage. So like if I'm hitting Wolf with just a standard hit with this, and then I hold up, see he's going to be able to get around that, right? But if I dash with medium punch and then do it twice, should be able to work. Like that.
Like that, right.
Yeah, he won't be able to jump out of this pressure. So yeah, it seems definitely very strong.
What's so unique about dashing stand medium punch? Aiming it at the very tip end, you can link it with a low normal.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
It might be a little hard, but it'll take a few tries.
Yeah, it's going to be hard on this character. Is this achievable against Wolf?
Yes, it is. It should work on all characters. Yes.
Gonna be hard for me.
No, it's okay. Like, just know it works.
Okay.
And that's how you get your LI confirmed from Liz. If you can get...
Oh, there it is. I got it.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that seemed pretty cool. I never knew that was a combo.
Oh, well, yeah, it's really, really cool. The Kaji confirms. They're so real.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this normal, as stated, is very good for pressure, keeping people in check. As Diar stated, since it's plus, you can use it to apply pressure and keep people from jumping out of your pressure. Situationally, you could use it as an anti-air on whiff punish if you give yourself enough space. It's a little bit better than the jab in that regard, like that. But you have to give yourself a massive amount of space, and obviously there's a little bit better tools like TK fireballs and stuff like that for uppercut. Yo, what up? Nice. Yeah. Let's go over the fact that it's also a cancelable normal and heavily used in her corner gameplay. Like this is one of her key tools. Like this makes the character. Anything else to go over with stand medium punch?
No, that's mostly it. Like you stated, but it's one of her stable moves. It's really good.
Yo, thanks for the subscription. Whips.
Oh, so there's also a weakness to it. Believe it or not,
there's a weakness.
Wolf can actually crouch that.
Yeah.
Walk under that.
Yup. There it is. He's barely there. But like, if he blocks, he will get pushed.
He's not the only one. Because fish can also dash under that. So you gotta be very extra careful. Yeah, like that, right there.
That's lame.
So if the role player knows, they'll catch on really quickly, like that.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Okay, because moments like this in these kind of matchups, you gotta replace it with a different normal.
So we'll go over that. We'll go over that normal in a second. We'll go over that.
Right.
Actually, let's do it now. This sounds like a good start to it.
Easily one of her top normals. Stand medium kick. The hits a lot lower. Because of this normal, it can hit low crouchers like Queen Bee.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty low.
There's no one that can crouch under that in the game.
Alright, that's good. You at least got a decent check normal. Right. So a lot of the tactics I like to do is particularly with Anakaris is I like to check with jabs and stuff like that. So I would assume this would be similar to that. So you can get a quick knockdown, right?
Right.
Does this also get some more frame advantage upon dashing, stand medium punch, or is it different?
Oh, with just dashing in general, you're adding at least +1 on hit and on block. So what's so nice about dashing normals? You're adding extra frame advantage, both on hit and block.
Gotcha.
So what's so cool about dashing stand medium kick? If you can get it close, it sets up for tick throw operation situations like that. Like that, in case they up back, you get the OS come out. So that's it might be a little hard on Wolf, but you can get it.
That's cool.
Yeah, situations like that. Also, okay, this might be very, very advanced, but what's so special about standing medium kick? You have extra frames to confirm LI. Believe
Really?
it or not, it's a late cancel.
Late
Dashing,
cancel.
yes, dashing. You can hit it deep, and you can buffer all the way until forward, light kick. Depending, you can feel it confirm in person. Then you can. It's almost like a one button confirm, right there. Yeah. It's kind of like third strike Chun-Li confirm.
Oh, okay. So it's like you use it to kind of
late cancel.
You're
You
using
can cancel it early or late. It's so unique. It's only for this normal for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oops, goddamn. Yeah, that seems really good. So you're just like the technique would be like just like kind of stash around and check.
Right.
Can you do like tricky shit like backdash? Yo, thanks for the follow, Owl Ninjas. So like if you like backdash, can you like confirm into it?
You can't because of the pushback, no, but it just makes yourself look cool.
Okay, so it's just one of those like things where
Right.
The reason why I ask because there's another technique I like to use sometimes where I like to with my main I like to backdash and catch people because sometimes you won't be in a very good spot if you're too close, right? So I like to backdash and tag people with the normal. It seems like it's a little difficult because it's easy to get yourself out of the range where this won't become as effective. But you can see how this pushes your character in a range where you can kind of sneak in an anti-air, you'll be in prime position to get an uppercut or something like that. So this is another use for that tool, I feel. So you can kind of put yourself in a better anti-air range. But at its strongest, you can use dashing medium punch and dashing medium kick interchangeably to do a sort of lockdown to keep people in check. Dashing medium punch is going to be a little stronger in that regard because it's cancelable into fireballs. But this is as Diar stated, this is late cancelable into LI, which is her strongest tool, right?
Right. Also, you have the option to go for tick throws too.
Oops, got thrown. I threw myself.
So in a sense, that move alone strings up into 3 different situations. If they block, you get a tick throw. If they up back, you'll S, can tag them out. And if you can hit it, you can go for a deep confirm.
Alright, that's cool.
So it's almost like a 3-in-1 deal for this move.
That's very strong.
Very strong. Easily top 3 normals for this character.
Alright. Okay, let's go over a bad normal. Stand heavy punch.
Boy, here we go. Stand. Okay. So this normal...
Actually, no, wait. Close medium punch first. I forgot about
close
it.
medium punch.
It's so bad, I forgot it existed.
So
let's move her over here so you can take a look at it.
Okay, for this normal, sometimes when you're going for dashing stand medium punch, that comes out by accident. Sometimes like that, right there. Sometimes. Right there. There you go. It's not a normal you normally use. It's honestly, they come out by accident. If you go for dash and medium punches, if you're too close. And the close proximity frames just happens like that.
So let's talk about the normal on hit and block.
So normal on hit, it's one of her normals that's actually minus, both on hit and on block. Extra bad.
Yeah, I believe it's -4 or something like that. It's super trash. You lose your turn every time you get this normal. The only thing is that it's cancelable.
Right.
So you must cancel if you accidentally get this normal. Clearly, you can see the character some characters can duck under it.
Yup.
The main thing is that this normal primary effective uses is if you accidentally get close and it comes on and attacks somebody out of the air, or to cancel out of it if it just happens to be the case, right? Like if you accidentally got it. Otherwise, this normal has very limited use. You can use it, I guess, to anti-air on a walk under is another use I would probably add to it. But other than that, like, there's much better normals. Yeah, I'll be adding this all to YouTube later. Yeah, other than that, not a very strong normal. You definitely do not want it. You want to avoid it as much as possible. So you want to. The only way this normal comes out is within close proximity frames. So somewhere around here, you're going to get far standing medium punch. Somewhere around here, you're going to get close. You want to avoid using that normal as much as possible. So whenever you're dashing, you want to make sure to hit your button as early as possible, which is what you want to do anyway because it gives her the frame advantage, as Diar stated earlier, to get this link.
Right. It's nice.
Yeah, so generally you're going to be using your dashing normals around this range. All right, I think that's it for that normal. Let's go over this thing.
So, stand hard punch. So what's so unique about this move? It's not normally used in neutral at all. This move is actually amazing, combined with a dashing normal like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's so nice about that? You have extra time to buffer into Li. Whether you can feel if they block or on hit, you can confirm. That's what's so nice about this normal. Other than that, you don't normally use it like that. You only combine it with dashes for this normal.
Okay, so this is only useful in a dashing. Because of the hitbox on it, you can see how big the hurt box is on it. So, like, as Diar stated, this is not a very good neutral tool. And yeah, I could definitely see it being useful in a sense to combine with Li. The hitbox generally is pretty big, so it's another one of those normals that you can kind of throw out, and it will tag them for jumping if you did throw it out in time, right?
Right.
And you'll notice that they'll get hit by it because it moves out for like a half an hour, right? So in this sense, it's added just like this. Very useful normal for doing that. Is this a minus normal on dashing?
Yes, both on hit on block. It's -2 on block, -1 on hit. So this is where it gets a little interesting. Because it's minus, you can go for a ghetto frame trap with Li just in case. Like that, right there, just in case. So just be careful against Lilith.
Does that catch a back if they try to hold it back if you do the ghetto?
No. For Wolf, he can always jump. No way.
Lame.
Yep.
Well, it did catch him on the ground right there, but I think it'll be too hard to space. I think it might be possible, but it's just going to be too hard to space. It's unreasonable, unreliable. Is that it for stand heavy punch?
Yeah, it's just mostly dashing applications and an Li frame trap.
There may be one other use for it. If you're like from this range and you can use it as a kind of situational whip punish anti-air sort of thing, but it's not. I don't recommend doing it. But you'll mostly try to do it off of backdash. I wouldn't recommend it though. See, like you could kind of use it as an anti-air, but it's very difficult to time it. And being that it's heavily whip punishable, I do not recommend using that for that reason. Close heavy punch.
Oh, that's easily one of her top normals too. What's so nice, because that's part of her throw OS. Because if they up back, that tags them. And if you combine it with a dash, it's also one of her late confirms with Li. You can cancel it early or late. You can cancel it late.
Oops, got that far heavy. Let me get
Right. That close hard punch is very unique, yes. You can cancel it late.
There it is.
Right. So, what's so interesting about that normal? You can go for interesting delay hit block strings just in case, just to tag out push blocking attempts, because it hits much later than usual, and that's your chance to get your Li confirms in like that.
Yeah, it will be used in conjunction with your crouching jab, or even your standing jab, or sometimes maybe even a dashing medium punch, right?
Right. It might be hard for this example because Wolf can just jump out and almost.
Yeah,
anything.
he's very unique. I'll give him that. But it's very strong. This will work against any character, like one jab or maybe even 2 jabs,
right,
or
right.
low short into it. So it's still a very strong pressure tool in that regard. And or you can just walk and then do it, which will lead into that OS that you were talking about, the heavy punch OS, where if the opponent jumps, your heavy punch comes out, and if they're on the ground, it will throw them. And that's how these are like one button throw OSs. These are any game with 1 button throws have this OS. So like Street Fighter 2, and this is retained in this game. Another use that I like to do personally, let's say like if you're doing like strings and stuff like this, or you're doing your dashing attacks, I like to walk backwards with the opponent to anti-air with this. That's something I like to personally do. I don't know if you use that at all, Diar.
So what's so interesting why you explain that? That is actually pretty useful against the Bulleta matchup. Believe it or not, like anti-ring was just like close hard punch.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where characters are just like well above your head and you can tag them.
Yo, thanks for the subscription, King of Bug. Yeah, like that sounds interesting for that matchup. Yeah, I think that. But as you can see, it's very, very good against Gallon. Even though he has like jump leg kick and stuff like that, this normal hits very high up in the air. So as long as you angle her properly, you'll definitely get that hit. I think it's very strong for just a general purpose anti-air. And I do agree this is one of our top 3 normals. Anything else with this that we don't know about? I can't think of anything else besides how we describe how to use it.
So this might be a little advanced topic. We're like getting ahead of ourselves explaining this. So during push block attempts, when people are trying to like push block all the time, for example, you go for a short, and you dash close hard punch. That string right there is designed to beat out push block because the active frames on close dashing hard punch hits a lot later, and that's how you're hitting that right there.
Okay.
So it's a very advanced tactic to use. Oh, it's easily one of Kaji's confirms easily.
I see.
Right there.
It's definitely it trades a lot, but I could see that it's doing that based on how people like to stagger their push blocks and stuff like that.
Right.
Like you would use that in conjunction with like other delayed normals and stuff like that. You do that very, very delayed jabs or very delayed crouch medium punch to kind of, and then try to sneak that in. And then if this hits, then you could confirm it at LI, like that.
Yeah, right there. That's the example.
That's strong. That's really good. Because like even then, like you get the throw attempt and all the other stuff right after that. This is a very strong pressure tool. There's a lot of variables with it. A lot of layers.
So this is like that normal alone opens up possibilities for this character.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, this is one of her strongest normals. I definitely agree. It's definitely top 3. Debatable where you want to put it, but it's definitely up there. Light kick.
Amazing normal. It might not be amazing by itself, but in conjunction with just dashing forward or backwards, amazing normal. What's so special about this normal? It hits so far, and you have options for dash links. If you hit it at the tip range, you can go for crouch short into LI confirm. And you're both plus on hit and on block. Overall, it leads to tick throws, LI confirms, and into push block and GC baits. It's an all-arounder move, easily.
Yep, this is a very strong tool. I definitely feel I utilize it a lot when I play this character. As you can see, the characters can't duck it, making it very, very powerful in that regard. This is going to be one of your go-to like dashing moves to kind of just check and see what's going on. You saw the hit confirm into the dashing into the crouching leg kick, which will go and chain into this. If you hit it close enough, it will lead into the LI confirm that I've been attempting to do and failing at it.
So to help you on that, you can't hit it deep. You have to hit it close to like tip range. That's the
Close to
trick
tip
for
range.
that.
Oh, I see.
Right there, right there. There's a tip range for this. Right there. Yeah, stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, this is a go-to pressure normal when your opponent's grounded for sure. If you feel that your opponent's going to jump, you generally want to use the standing punching normals because the character could definitely clear it on jump because it doesn't hit very high, right? But if they're on the ground, this is your go-to normal for starting pressure. And it's also cancelable. So, very, very good normal. We already just went over standing medium kick. So we can skip over that one. And let's go to another bad normal. Stand roundhouse.
Stand roundhouse, let's see. It's both minus on hit, on block. Unfortunately, this game, it's not an overhead.
It is not an overhead.
You normally never ever see any other players use this. And at all costs, it's best to avoid this normal.
It's super slow. Like, it has a hitbox where it can anti-air. You can see that it can do it. It's impossible to aim that thing for how slow it is. Look, you're fighting Wolf. He's going to clear that jump. You're probably going to die. Or he's going to do, like, a beast cannon or something from really far away. You're going to get hit. This is too slow. The fact that it's not an overhead and for how slow it is a crime. That was fixed in VSAV 2.
So for this normal, I guess you can have a delayed frame trap with Li confirmed, but who really goes for that? Yeah. But it is there.
Yeah, this normal's bad. It's like very little utility for it. There's like I'm trying to make a frame trap with it right now. It's not good. Avoid at all costs. Worst normal that she had. Probably one of the top worst normals in the game.
Oh yes.
Close roundhouse.
So this normal, it's not normally you use at all because you don't really go for this for close range because your close hard punch is like the best for close range. Close roundhouse, close jabs. You normally go for those two buttons. You normally never use close roundhouse for in this case.
Yep. Most of the time, at the beginner level, close roundhouse is would be the go-to, right? Because it gives you a long time to confirm into Li, right? But usefulness, you can see how much damage it's doing when I hit them out of the air, right? Not very much, whereas heavy punch does way more damage, significantly more, right? And with how late you can cancel into Li with a heavy punch, it makes going for the cancel with this not worth it. Even though you get a long hit confirm, because animation wise you can see that you hit this. It hits 3 times. Understandable that you would want to use this, right? But if they jump, less damage, and you get a very long time to confirm. So the usefulness on this normal's kind of shot by heavy punch itself. Was there anything else though with it though? Like to know about it?
Normally nobody uses it. It's either coming out by accident for push block attempts
for
some reason.
Oh, okay. So like you're trying to push block and then
push block is too close.
Then you get something like you'll either get this garbage or the okay, gotcha. So then that will go into like some tip kind of thing where you want to optimize your push blocks to avoid or use roundhouse first to get rid of it.
Right.
Or not even use that and use the five button inputs only, so that you'll never have to see it. Gotcha. So yeah, standing roundhouse buttons avoid at all costs. They're terrible. That's the tip. All right, now we're on the crouching normals. So we went over crouch jab earlier a little bit. It's similar in the use case as the stand jab, but the characters cannot duck this. And you can chain into it, get additional plus frames from the render bonus by chaining 2 jabs. But this move is already massively plus on block. Probably like I think like what, plus 6-ish, right? Or 5?
Like plus 7 on block, plus
7
on 8 on hit. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's massively plus. So yeah, I'm holding up back. This character will not be able to jump. at all.
What's so cool about crouching jab? You have enough time to link it, just in case for if you're extra sure for confirms. Like that, yeah. Because it puts you at so much time if you can link these. Because you have options to go for a tick, options to go for a confirm, and it has massive render bonus, plus 11 on hit, plus 10 on block.
So by chaining 2 jabs, you're plus 11. That's sick.
Yep.
That means that that you could frame trap with your medium normals, and they will not be able to clear this at all, or attack you. So yeah, this is very strong. Using conjunction with your dashing pressure, as Jai stated, it would be used in a lot of your tick throw gameplay, or setting up like do crouch jab, stand medium punch into fireball, which is a very strong frame trap overall. So very strong normal. Definitely used probably in the top 5 for sure. Crouching medium punch.
Okay, crouching medium punch. What's so unique about this normal? At the very maximum tip range, when they're jumping at you, you can aim the tip and anti-air with this. So you might not be able to do it against Wolf, but yeah, other matchups.
Wolf is lame.
Yeah.
Wolf is immune to everything.
Normally, I like to use this for special situations during other matchups like Fish. You can answer pretty well against Fish with that normal.
So I won't hit a button with Wolf to kind of demonstrate what it would look like. It'll look similar to like that. You can see that the hitbox in front of it is fairly large, so like it can beat a couple pokes. So like, for example, like this wolf poke, it's a very good counter poke tool. I've been counter poked by this a lot in our matchups. You always counter poke my stand heavy punch with this, and I hate it. Oh, yeah, so like, it's a very good whiff punish normal. It's also special cancel. Is it special cancel? I think it is. Yeah, it's special cancelable. Yeah, so it's a special cancelable normal. Not the best at using for in the pressure, but definitely good like counter like a poking tool normal. You can definitely get like a lot of stray hits with this by aiming it like that. Oops, get out of that mode. There you go. Like very strong counter poke tool and situationally a decent anti-air depending on them. It's very matchup dependent. You obviously have to test buttons and stuff like that. See, like Wolf, just don't not recommend doing that. But you can walk under him and then do this, and then it's perfectly fine. Very viable anti-air went on walk unders. See, you have to make more uses for the normal. But if you're trying to anti-air him like a normal character, you're gonna get killed. But in other matchups, very strong. So the use case for this, if you're fighting like a character that you're struggling to anti-air with, just walk under them and use it. Or use it as a counter poking tool. You'll get a lot of stray hits that way, and that damage racks up over time. And since Lilith damage output's very high if you can complete a combo, you'll definitely want to get as much damage as you can before you land your LI. Any other uses for this?
Yeah, mostly in my case, you stated that, yeah, counter poking tools, certain matchups, you can either anti-air, poke their long strings like that. And normally, you don't really use it anywhere else but those situations.
Gotcha. All right, let's go over crouching heavy punch.
So crouching heavy punch. So this normal usually comes out if you were to push block from the lights to the heavies. Just that would be your leak normal sometimes, like that. Also, you can use this in neutral for dashing characters, like a dashing QB. It can go right under her normal, thankfully. Also, this by itself, it's not the greatest, but so sometimes
I'll explain what that kind of looked like what you were talking about. So it'll be similar. So like if QB was on the screen, she has a normal dash like Lilith, right? And it will look like this, where like Lilith can duck under her dashing normals for the most part, and it'll look something similar like this, where you'll just hit her out of her dashing normals, like dashing medium punch and stuff, or dashing medium kick even. It's a very common situation in that matchup. All right, we can continue.
Right, it's one of her slower normals, so it's not something you want to go for too often. And also, there are times where you were to hit this at max tip range, you're not going to get your LI confirmed. There are times like that, so do be careful.
Yeah, generally, it's generally used as a counter poking tool on my end, similar to this, but it's a little more difficult to aim because the hurt box kind of extends, right? So you really have to wait to hit that. So, and since the startup is pretty slow, characters will generally be able to jump and catch you. You'll get in situations where you accidentally do it, and the character's already in the air, and then you'll get punished on landing frames. But it's mostly used in long combos with chains to get allies to confirm, right?
Right. That's normally your bread and butter LI confirm.
I can't think of any other situations you would use that over any other button because of the speed of it. It's not too good. Oh no, we'll go over you later. But yeah, overall, it's used as a combo tool and sometimes a counter poking tool, and that's pretty much how I see the button. Let's go over crouching leg kick.
Oh, easily one of her top numbers again, because you can go for tick throws. It can link itself. It can link into crouching jab. Also, it gives you so much time to confirm for LI combos. You can go for crouching short, either as a chain or a link. Wait, it is a link, right. As a link, it gives you that much time to go for either a block string or an LI confirm, or even a soul flash block string combo. So it's one of those normals that does three things again. Pressure, goes for LI confirms, and it sets up to your tick throws too.
Yep, very strong normal. Because of the range of it and how low the hitbox is, it won't be used anything but for pressure. You can't use it for any other situations in that regard. It's also useful when you're doing dashing leg kicks and stuff like that. That's my go-to is to do that because I generally like to start off with a low when I'm doing pressure. But this button's relatively straightforward at what it wants to do, but it's very powerful. Has a lot of layers to it and what you can do once you get in close range. I think that's pretty much it for that normal overall. It's pretty straightforward normal. Let's do crouching medium kick.
So crouching medium kick's part of your LI bread and butter confirm. It's not a normal you use too often for like neutral or just to poke with really. And it's mostly used in chain combo attempts. It's not a standalone normal you want to go for crouching. And what's so special about crouching medium kick? When you're doing crouching short, you can go for a link crouching medium kick until a crouching fierce punch into LI confirm. So you can confirm that later. That's what's so unique about that normal.
Wait, say that one again?
Like that.
So you can do it like...
You just did it. You can link it.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. There we go.
Yeah, you have extra time because you're linking that normal.
Sick.
It's definitely by feel. It's like really hard to go for, but playing this character for so many years, you have this muscle memory to develop for stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah. In general, the way I use that tool too, I like to combine it in the corner game, along with the standing medium punch, just to have like a low there, just in case if I can catch the frame, the couple frames to start up before they get the jump, so I can catch something like that. Is there a specific distance you will be, well, that was it right there. But like, where you will want to stand to get this to combo into this to get LI?
That's good tip range, yeah. Around that range, that's like perfect for.
So it's like it would be right around here, like in between
around right there,
the portrait and the name. Yeah, because like I feel like this is a good tactic to get down as Lilith because generally you can pressure with fireballs and stuff around this range, and since your opponent can't move, you can kind of sneak in a low, like crouching medium kick, and then confirm into that. So I think it's a very strong tactic with the character. Overall, it's a relatively straightforward normal. But yeah, again, like as Diar stated, it's not the most useful in neutral, but in the corner, it gains a little more utility. And because of the link combos, it's like a part of her core combo roots. All right, next we got I believe the final grounded normal, sweep.
So sweep. By itself, it's not the greatest. It's only used during chain combo attempts for the knockdown. And if you were to somehow do a chain into a block sweep, you can go for something ghetto like a late Li frame trap just to tag them, just in case. You can sort of make yourself a lot safer that way, because on block, this normal is -20, so you're gonna
20?
die for it. You're gonna die if you miss.
Oh, okay, so that's you have to do that.
You just have to. If you just miss for some reason, you just have to confirm.
Okay, so
or else you're gonna die.
Oh man, it's sort of like these lies.
So there's also wacky points where you can sort of anti-air with sweep. It might be very unreliable though. There are times like that.
Gotcha. Oh, so you mean like yeah. I know.
Yeah, like that. It's really unreliable, but sometimes you can hit them.
Yeah. So in this game, when a character does a jumping normal, when they land, they're allowed to guard. However, they're gonna gain additional landing recovery upon landing. So if the opponent, like let's say they do a jump in plus a button, they would lose that, and in which case the sweep would be useful as like a preemptive poke, I guess. But as you stated, it's -20, so not really worth it. And the fact that the characters can block upon landing, even when they whip normals in this game, not worth it. There are some characters, yes, it would probably hit them, but I wouldn't bank on it. You can see that it's not really working against Wolf, so not really a good tactic to use. But yeah, it's just a generic combo ender to get a knockdown. So that way you can start the rolling game where like you can catch people. You can catch people trying to roll, and you can do like a left-right mix-up or something, or get in with pursuit attack and get them to move. But like for example, like let's say you knock people down and they roll, you can get them closer to the corner, something like that. Because generally people tend to roll away from you most of the time, right? Unless they're in the corner, in which case they're gonna roll towards you. So. And that's it for their ground normals. So we can start the air normals now.
So jumping jab. That's one of her best jumping normals, in my opinion, because of the speed, the option it leads to. It leads to like the full chain block string in the air. It's also a very good normal for delay push block attempts. And overall, yeah. It hits a lot lower. That's one of her normals that hits so much lower than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a normal that you want to use for chicken guarding too, on top of starting your full air chains. So there are weird moments where if they're like too close, you can use that. Like that, yeah.
And for the air chains, it would be like basically, if you start off with jumping jab, you can air chain to get them to the ground to land a stand jab if you get them in the correct angle. And the mix-up will be, because like your opponent could definitely still hit a button, right? It won't discourage it, right? The general mix-up will be you would uppercut them. So if you get them low enough, it'll either be you chain them to a jab or you uppercut them if they keep matching to get more damage.
So you can also add a surprise Li confirm right there.
Like even when you land on the ground too?
Like in the ground, let me see. Oh, like, landing on the ground.
Like in this situation.
Oh, in this situation, no. Like uppercut would be much better there.
Okay, uppercut would be the go-to. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, I think the situation you're talking about is like let's say the air guard, right? and then you do an LI late, right, to catch
Right.
people trying to mash on chicken guard, which is what you try. You definitely get me with a lot, and I know that, so I stop hitting buttons.
Everybody in this game matches on air block. So it's one of those key tactics where you want to try to go for this, just in case. Not many people actually guard the whole way without pushing buttons.
It would be like that, yeah. And you will get hit by that a lot, because again, chicken guarding in this game is very powerful. The fact that you can attack after air guarding means that you're going to see that interaction a lot. So as a Lilith player, you will definitely want to check people for doing that tactic. And it will definitely start from jump jab.
So with you starting jump jab on a normal jump, it might be a lot better to confirm with super jump jab, because you have that extra air time to go for the full air chain. Like stuff like that. So it might screw up certain things, you gotta keep it short. It makes you land first.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Yeah,
like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, and then you would definitely be higher. Because of so like you would catch them higher and you would land first, which means their air normals when they try to mash would be above you, and that's where the LI would catch them, right?
Right.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, you can sort of work, but at worst you might get a trade.
Okay. So a lot of layers to the air game, just from the jab itself. I think that's pretty much it for this air normal. Air to air wise is very, as we stated, very quick. You can, since she has a super jump, you can utilize it to kind of catch people really high up in the air, make yourself land first at the air block. It's very good as a air to ground as well, because of how fast it is. If you're like around this distance, you can stuff a lot of normals that way, like that. I just used Wolf's Crouching Kickers, and it got beat because of the speed of the normal itself. So pretty strong jump in normal. One of the better jump in normal she has.
And so, another thing to add, this might be another advanced tactic. You can go for delay push block attempts with jumping jab. You got to hit this late instead of confirming it high like that. Hit it much later.
So like you would hit it
like right there, like the latest you can. So that right there is to catch them push blocking, air jumping attempts, and this is how you blow them up for trying to go for push blocks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so like the general like mind game to that is like people like to push block a lot in this game. They're gonna like wait to guess your normal, and if you time your jump in very late, you can either get it to hit them for attempting to do a push block attempt, because they'll do it too early, right, and get hit like that. Or you can get this to miss, and then possibly go for like a ground throw or something like that, or even just sneak in an empty low. So doing a late jump is very powerful. A lot of layers if you do a later jump in, as opposed to hitting them up here. Because if you hit them up here, they would likely like push block it. So learn to time your jump-ins as late as possible if you can. If you think you can get away with it. If you think your opponent's going to counter poke, then you want to do it early, because that will stuff them. You want to just you're banking on your opponent not attacking you.
Right. That's where it comes in like a high level play. It's not normally you want to go for too often, but just keep in mind you have those options.
All right, let's go over jump medium punch.
Jump medium punch. It's one of the few normals that sticks out slightly at an angle, and sometimes it's okay to chicken guard with it. And instead, you want to start with this normal too. Sometimes for air chains, normally you don't really go for this for pokes. It's just part of the air chain game, but as a standalone air move, you might not want to use it. You might want to use the other normals instead.
Yeah.
Medium punch.
I definitely agree on that regard. The only thing that's, well, I think we'll go over that in a second, because I think the other normal is way better for doing this. But in that regard, to starting off with it, most of the cast is an air throw, and because this is one of your air throw buttons, and the fact that you still retain a couple more buttons for your air chain, this is useful for those air to air situations where you jumped first. And to get them to chicken block on the way down, right? that's the main way I use this tool. Otherwise, I would just stick with jump jab for every other situation that involves air to air or air to ground. But this normal is a little active, but its usefulness to me is for air throw starter. Because like if they block, then you can still at least do an air chain, and that's how I see that normal. Maybe it has some situation used for like up back though, like that. Would you say?
Up back? Hey, not bad, yeah.
So like you would use it as an up backing tool, because like it's kind of active long enough, and the damage output's pretty decent for like an air to air if you're jumping up back or like super jump like this. So like if you're trying to be like defensive, it might be useful in that regard. But yeah, I feel like those are the use cases for this tool. Like otherwise, for the most part, jump jab is generally going to be like the better tool when approaching. But for like defensive stuff, I think this is strong. I think that's it for that air normal. Let's go over jump heavy punch.
So jumping here heavy punch. What's so interesting about this normal? You can sometimes at angles where you can cross up with those. With Wolf, you can sometimes cross up with those. It might be hard.
Very hard.
Very, very hard.
Yeah, that's going to be very hard.
Right. It's not something you normally go for, but you do have those moments where you cross up with those. Also, this is also a really decent...
Oh, yes. I forgot that detail with the super jump. How she turns around in the air.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so let's go over that real quick. So,
okay.
Lilith's super jump, it has a unique property where she'll turn around in the air. And you can apply that with her jumping jab, or even her jump heavy punches and stuff like that, to kind of hit people. That's where the cross-up is right there.
Okay, cool.
It's from the super jump, it seems like. So it makes the utility, because like sometimes you'll get over them, and then she'll turn around anyway, and you can get a cross-up that way. Like that. So it allows her to get cross-ups that are normally unachievable for the rest of the cast because of her ability to turn around. Is there any other use cases for jump heavy punch? I do definitely use this for the air throw game as well.
Oh, just for air throw attempts on top of the chance to go for jump roundhouse too as a chain, just in case. Like that, just in case you miss.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can also go for LIs, even on block, just in case, for chicken guard mashing like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see it.
You can add little layers of tricks to this move, just in case.
Okay, so it has a lot more utility than I thought it did.
Because normally on block, you're gonna get tagged out in the air if they block this.
Yeah, it'll be something like that where, oh, got the air throw. See, it like the air. I'll go over her air throw box in a second because it's legendary. But if they air guard this, you are likely to get attacked. So you have to add luminous illusion like this to frame trap them for hitting buttons if they block it. And I think this is where like even though the air chain is good for doing that, this will probably be the likely case that you would catch somebody because they, you're doing like one air normal and it's like unassuming, right? They're like, oh, I better block this, right? And they're gonna hit you, right? But if you add that luminous illusion to that, it makes it so much scarier to even try to attempt to challenge that after you air block this normal. And the fact that her air throw is very forgiving makes this a very strong like air-to-air jumping tool. You can also, like I just used jumping medium punch, you can use that defensively. I think jumping medium punch would be a little more useful in that regard, but you can still use it in that manner. And it's also a very strong like jumping tool in general from air to ground because of the massive hitbox on it. Like if you get right on top of them, there's not much they can do to stop this normal. Like at best they can get a trade, right? And this is one of her strongest like jumping tools if they're on the ground.
So there are some weaknesses to that. If you were to do it too high up in the air, there are times where it just whiffs completely when you land. It's very bizarre.
So like it'll be like something like this where it'll be super high up.
Yeah, because you hit them like that, just like that. Sometimes you get moments like that, so you do be careful of
Yeah,
when
that'll
you
probably
time
mostly happen when you're doing a super jump, I feel.
yeah, stuff like that. So you got to be careful.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is one of her... Like, I think all her punches are very strong in different regards. All her jumping punches are super good. Since medium punch and heavy punch are her air throws starters, I'm going to go straight to the air throw right now. So, like, I think you can see my my mouse pointer right now. So, on her hitbox, generally around this distance, if she were to jump, the air throw box would be right dead in the center. So it's very forgiving. All characters have different locations for their air throw hitbox. So like Morrigan, I think is on her head, but her Lilith's is right around here, dead center. So when you're going for air throw, it's very easy to get an air throw with especially since she has like a super jump. So you can kind of get into that distance very easily. She's one of the best air throwing characters in the game overall. She gets air throws all the time. You're gonna commonly get tons of air throws with this character. The only other character that has a forgiving air throw box is unfortunately Sasquatch.
Oh my goodness.
So he also gets many air throws. So this is a very strong air throw character. Combined with the fact that you have a super jump and very strong utility on your jumping punch air normals, this is a character you don't want to mess around with in the air game if they're on point. So let's go over the jumping light kick. I mean the kick normals next.
So jumping light kick. That's also not a bad normal to go for full air chains on block on our hit, because it's one of her fastest normals too, along with her jumping jab. By itself, you don't really normally go for. That normal's just honestly just part of the full air chain in the air.
I definitely agree, because like
yeah, it's not
you can see the
extended
extended hurt box on it right there. So like even like something like Wolf's jab or something like can tag you and trade. The fact that it's fast makes it okay sometimes, but you're gonna trade a lot with this normal. So I don't think it's that strong of a normal as a starter, whereas jump jab would be much more preferred.
Yeah, it's mostly used for fillers for chains and combos in the air.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it's one of her weaker normals. But I am seeing something right here. You see that little that white box that's going down?
Yeah, what is that?
So that's her push box. See? It prevents people from walking under you. See how Wolf's trying to walk under? So if I did a jab, I just noticed this just now. I wasn't paying attention to it.
Oh, wait, hold on.
New tech, guys.
Okay.
Okay, so like let's say you got the player A. He's a dick and he likes to walk under you all the time. That's where that jumping light kick comes into play. See, the push box is going down and it's preventing him from walking through you. And then you get a hit. That's how that would be used.
Hey, that's not bad.
New tech.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, this is definitely strong in that regard. Yo, thanks for the follow, Vicky. Yeah, so I think this is strong only in this situation, tactically. Otherwise, for every other situation, jump jab will be better. So, and I would see this happening a lot in the wolf and cat matchup, right? You'll get a jump in and they just walk under you, right? So use this in that. See, you learned something.
Right, cool.
I just made it up. I just made that up. Okay, I made it up. Like this is a new tech. Jumping light kick is only good against walk unders or characters that are trying to dash under you. So like I would say like Zabel or Fish or something, because they'll generally try to dash under you, right? You may even stop my character from dashing under you. And now that I think about it, I hate your tool.
That's a good idea. Never.
No, don't do that. I'm already sad that I'm making more tech to kill my character. Okay, so I think that's it for that. It's relatively straightforward, other than the new tech that we found because the hitbox viewer is top tier. Jumping medium kick. Let's go over that.
Oh, easily one of her top air normals. It has a pretty decent cross-up size on the fat croucher characters like Bulleta and Queen Bee. Sometimes you can land it on tip range. It's a good air chain filler just to start with. It leads to your pierce buttons for air chains like that. And overall, it's a really good normal to start just to poke with in the air.
All right. Yeah, I think like looking at it from the hitbox perspective, it's very strong. It has a really like it's probably like remember that tactic that I was doing with jumping medium punch. This would probably be much better to use instead of medium punch itself. And the fact that it's a decent cross up normal makes it very strong, and it's just an overall good air to air. Like when the player's in front of you, or if you super jump over them, it's another one of those long range normals that are likely to hit. Right, so like for example, you would super jump over them, hit like that, and probably stand medium kick, like that.
Yeah.
So it's a straightforward jump in, but it gets the job done. It's utility for air to air and air to ground from long range, and sometimes super jump. I think that's it for that move, right? And it's an air chain starter.
Air chain starter, cross up attempts, and overall it's a really good move that sticks your hitbox out there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that normal. It's pretty good. I think it's good. It has a lot of defensive utility for air to air, good air to air normal in general, and yeah, pretty good. Let's go over jump roundhouse, the final jump in normal.
So what's so interesting about this? This is actually really good for neutral jump air to air for really fast characters like Wolf. Just to like tag him out of the air. It's good against Jedah. Super fast jumping speed.
Oh yeah, you can do a neutral super jump, so I can see that definitely.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's a really good like neutral tool just to start with.
That's cool.
So
yeah, I never thought to use super jump as a tool.
It's really late. Like I found this out like much later in the game, but it's really good for air to air neutral.
Yeah, it looks really strong.
And sometimes it's decent when you were to like start your jump with just jumping roundhouse. Sometimes at max range, stuff like that. That's okay too.
So like that.
Stuff like that. That's okay too. And it's really good defensively. Like up back, roundhouse like that. That's really good. Just the build meter, try to poke something out, and just like keep your space and just like mashing on that button. It's not bad. It's
okay.
Really good.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, super good. Yeah, I think that's it for all the normals. Yeah, we made it. We made it past the normals.
Yeah, we did it.
Now on to special moves. Let's start off with the king of special moves, the fireball. Yeah. This is like the special move for this character.
Slow flash. What's so interesting about this? This is like the Dan fireball of the game. Shit, it might be even better than Dan's.
It's better than Dan's. except for SF5, we won't get into that. That was a mistake. They messed up.
This is easily one of her key special moves for this character. Some of the best options for TK Soul Flash for anti-airs to keep neutral in check. It hits so late, it can go used for a frame trap. On top of, it's really good for a block string canceller. Just go for short strings into that. And overall, it's easily one of her best special moves and some of the best fireballs in the game. Basically what it does.
Yep, definitely one of the... Like, I think this is one of the best fireballs in the game, like, period. Like, the utility of this fireball alone makes this character very strong. It has so many uses. It's oppressive and very oppressive in the corner. As Diar stated, is if you utilize it in a TK, it's a wall. Like it's a wall, and there's not much that the player can do to stop it, right? So what would you say would be the most useful strengths for this?
Oh, easily like max tip range, dashing short, crouch short into slow flash, stuff like that. A deep dash, standing medium punch into slow flash, like that. That's a good range. That, crouching short into TK. Wait, crouching short into slow flash. That's good too. Also, there's something a little more advanced with this. The EX version, if you were to use it like that, what's so interesting about this special move? There are so many times where you can go for trade attempts with it. Like when they're knocked down and you were to time this as they're mashing for buttons or just push block attempts, you can go for trades with those. I'm sure you've seen this all the time.
Yeah, I've been hit by this before. I just mashed to save my life.
everyone matches in the corner against her.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
one of her key offensive tools.
Yeah, it will. I'll try to time it manually to see if I can get it. Like that. It would look like that, and you would get enough frame advantage to combo off with.
You have enough time just to sneak yourself, walk forward into a low confirm into a LI. Like that.
Yeah, it's super strong.
It might be hard to emulate.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for me to emulate. Yo, thanks for the follow, 4C Joe. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to emulate for sure, but the utility for this tool, super strong. Like, if you get a trade, you can get a combo into LI. Off of that, you can just immediately go like straight into low short and that, and go straight into LI. Are there any other strengths that you would use grounded? Because like personally, I only use light and medium. I never really use heavy on the grounded as a grounded fireball.
So medium and heavy speeds, there might be a use because of the fast jump characters in the game, just to tag them out. Because light fireball sometimes they can get jumped out by Felicia or by Wolf.
Oh, I see.
Like
it'll be something like that, right?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. See, I can see it locking it down. I think it'd probably be better to use medium. Then let me see. Let me make an attempt at making a range where this will work. Maybe I could just do dashing and then throwing it out. Might be too slow. But this keeps them locked down though, the heavy one. So that's fine, like in that regard. And you'll get pushed back a little bit, and then you can kind of use that to kind of angle yourself and get the ants here. So it's still useful. I was just trying to make a frame trap. It would have been cool.
So another thing to be very careful about, because of the slow startup speed, there are characters in the game where you can get swept under too. They can just sneak or normal just the.
Yeah, I do that as an Anakaris player. If you're too far away, I will mash on sweep against the light fireball.
So just do be careful on that. That's not something you want to like mash too often, but just do keep those options there.
Like against this character, you might be able to get away with it, but some characters can reach you. Thanks for the follow, Sketch.
Oh shit, cool.
Let's talk about the TK fireball, which is like the wall of this character. I generally recall that like the light and the medium fireballs are the most useful, right?
Honestly, the most useful. You rarely use TK, the fierce strength fireball like that. You rarely use that.
Yeah. So the way to do a TK fireball, so she has a super jump, right? And her having the super jump is going to make it a little more difficult to do the TK fireball. So what you want to do is you want to do your you're going to start off at down or down back, right? And you're going to rotate slowly to get your TK. Because if you do it too fast, you're going to get a super jump, and you might miss it, right? Or you're going to put your character higher. It's much more preferred to keep your character as low as possible, so you want to avoid the super jump when doing the TK. Another use of it, like you can, again, going over that hitbox, look at, she's her same idle size, right? So they can't walk under you. Did you notice that? Look at her. Oh, look at the white box.
Oh shit!
They can't.
I don't even know that.
Look, you got interesting tech, man. Yeah, Wolf can't walk under you.
Okay, cool.
So this is another way to keep them in front of you. So not only is the fireball a wall, but she becomes a wall herself. I don't think there's too much utility for EX air fireball, right? TK?
You don't normally use it. You don't normally use it at all, but you can go for something like a deep jump into ES fireball in the air.
Like that?
You can go for weird tactics like that. It's really wacky. It discourages them from up backing, but you're costing yourself of getting mashed out when you land late. There are some uses like that, kinda, but it's not normally you want to go for.
I see.
Like stuff like that.
It doesn't look like you're relatively have much frame advantage to work with. I think you're going to put yourself in an uppercut situation. It looks like where you're forced to uppercut. Yeah, I don't think there's too much utility. However, the grounded fireball, even though we went over the fact that you can combo off the trade, there's another thing that it can do. So if you throw your fireball from super long distances, let's say they block this standing, right? The opponent can no longer block crouching because it leaves you in like block stop for the duration of that fireball, making this like technically an unblockable, right? If you will. Right. So like if your opponent stand guards this, you can hit them with a free low. It's guaranteed. And if they crouch block this, then technically she doesn't have an overhead, but technically like a jump in, you wouldn't be able to switch the standing guard. So that makes the jump in and unblockable as well, right? So there are ranges where your opponent won't be able to get that, but it has to align with the perfect frame. It's kind of difficult to get that. So I think like the low version is going to be the one that's going to hit more often. I think there's a way to set it up if you do like a dashing normal, right? Like something like that. Or you get like, let's say you throw your fireball, you whiff your dashing normal, then do a low. That would be an easy way to set that up, right? It's like doing like that in the light, like that.
Wow.
Would set that up. And then you would get a combo, right? So
right, yeah.
So like, you weren't using this guy?
No, not like that. I've been using it a little differently. Not like that. I used the TK ES fireball on knockdown actually.
Ah, I see. See, we all learn from each other. Yeah, this is like a tactic that you use to whip to get your whip normal. So right here, you throw it out. Guy wasn't paying attention, kind of sleeping, right? You use your dashing jab and check and see if they're going to jump, right? Because sometimes they will jump, and you might be able to tag them depending on if they jump towards you or not, and depending on how late they jumped, right? And you know, if they're sleeping or walking backwards, then the whip normal will allow you to sneak in below, and then they wouldn't be able to guard that if they block the fireball. Or you do, you know, like you throw the fireball, you think the guy's just going to block it for whatever reason, you just jump in on them. This fireball's super good. There's so many things you can do with it. It is strong. There's like, you know, it's very strong in the corner, very strong as a wall. You can even use it as an anti-air if you aim it. It's good. It has a lot of utility. Definitely the best fireball in the game. Despite the fact that the range is really tiny. But that doesn't mean that the fireball is not good. The range is tiny, but this move, I don't know, it's like one of the best fireballs of all time. I would say. With how much damage it leads to, and how many sequences you can get, brain traps off of it, this is probably the best fireball that Capcom's ever made. You know, next to broken fireballs like Bishamon's and Vampire Hunter being plus unblock. What were they thinking? I think that's pretty much it with the fireball. Super strong. Oh, wait, there's another thing. Kara canceling. Kara cancel meter building. It's very good. Doing low forward into this builds a lot of meter real quick. So the optimal meter building strategy would be like you do like an air whipped air link chain like this, and then you land and then you do low forward into fast fireball. That's one use for fast fireball. You can obviously switch it with weaker normals to have the fireball linger longer because they might land into it. Might be better to do light from half screen, but if they're not doing anything, you can sneak in a couple of these, get a little bit of extra meter. She could also like do air car cancels with her jumping normals if you feel like you need this. You know, to have a fireball come out right here, you can build a little bit more meter. And I think that's pretty much it with the fireball. Super strong.
Oh yeah, and definitely do be careful when you're fighting a QB player. It's not something you want to use too often.
Oh yeah, yeah, she can duck under it. Yeah, that's a sadness matchup.
Oh yes,
that matchup is eternal sadness. Next one I think should be uppercut.
Uppercut. So, it does its job. It may not be the greatest. It may not be the worst either. It does its job. It hits a lot vertical. It doesn't arc like Morrigan's.
Yeah, it's definitely a vertical based.
It's pretty. It does its job for a decent anti-air for jumping attempts. Sometimes, if you're not careful, you might have to ES just for insurance. And overall, it's pretty good just to tag normals with it. It may not be the greatest. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like it's does its job in this game. Uppercuts are like pretty much anything that is not a grounded normal for the most part is air blockable. So you can't just use your DP in a sense where you're trying to like beat a jump in, right? Because that could be air guard, right? So you mostly have to stick with your normals to achieve that job. But if your opponent is attacking, it is like there's two things to know about this uppercut. One, there's a grounded hitbox the first frame. That's it's not the big problem with this uppercut is it won't hit fully on the ground. See, like it starts up halfway up Talbain's hurt box, right? So it means that QB could duck under this uppercut. But it does have a little bit better of a hitbox as it's going upwards than Morrigan's. So it can be used from a little bit further away to tag normals. So like you can definitely get away with doing this early and tagging some normals. Now you might trade a lot, but the trade will be in your favor.
Yeah,
right?
Like that. You're gonna get those a lot.
You will trade a lot with this uppercut. So it's debatable on when to best throw it out. I feel like throwing it earlier is the better thing because you'll get the trade most of the time. Doing it later, although it's good, sometimes you'll just you'll aim it like a little too early, and then stuff like that will happen where you're gonna get tagged. So I feel like it's better to just throw this uppercut early to get the trade than try to time it as an uppercut. Otherwise, it's better to use EX uppercut if you're gonna be late. If you're gonna be late, just use EX uppercut. But there's risk involved with that uppercut too, because she does 3 uppercuts, and if they miss or weird stuff like that will happen, right?
Yeah, they sometimes can bounce off for whatever reason.
We didn't go over the other uppercuts because the light uppercut is generally your most useful uppercut overall. The like medium, like if you're going to use this uppercut early, the medium is also pretty good, right? Because again, you're trying to aim the angle of that hitbox to hit any of the air-to-air normals. So in that regard, it will reach really high, right? So like characters like Jedah, this uppercut may be a little more effective against him, the medium one. And heavy uppercut is probably only used in combos, I think, right?
Only for that Dark Force combo, I think. You normally never use Fierce version.
Yeah, like this thing is just not used. It doesn't have as much utility as the light or medium ones. Other than that, like it's her guard cancel, which I'm gonna attempt to do with 2 controllers. So this is one of her primary guard cancels. I think most of the time you use light, right?
It's mostly light because you want to land fast and you want to keep going.
Yeah, and after that you would use pursuit attack or something like that to get a little more damage if you feel like like it's gonna kill. It's not the best Dark Force, but it is a good Dark Force. It does its job well, right? It gets the job done. It's one of those kind of Dark Forces. You have to be careful with your Dark Forces though, because if your opponent spaces out their normals well enough, it might, and there's not enough like recovery frames on the normal that they use, you can get baited in your dark cancel whiff. So I'll try to do it like that. So you have to be careful with your guard cancel. It's much better to do your guard cancel up close or against jump like people jumping in, right? Like the first frame when they're hitting up here. But never guard cancel when they're coming down and they're reaching down here late with a late jump. Your guard cancel will be blocked. I think that's it with the utility of the uppercut. It's pretty straightforward move, but it's mostly used for her guard cancel and if you're trying to get like early stuff or you're trying to whip punish. It's not that bad as a whip punisher uppercut or a trading uppercut. What's Tatsu, I think, right?
Mary turn? So this move, yeah, you don't normally use this at all because the times you see me use it is when I'm just botching inputs and that comes out by accident.
Yeah. So there's not much use for it because like as you can see, it kind of like it can whiff from ranges and stuff like that. And unfortunately, this is not the VSAV 2 version where she has it in the air, right? Which would give it a little more utility. The good news is I don't think characters can walk under you while they're doing this. So I guess you could use it in that regard to kind of hit people. And you can kind of use it as a counter poke, right? Like as a whip punisher. I think that's where it's strongest, right? So like if your opponent's trying to counter poke you, you can kind of use it to kind of tag a normal. I think that's where the juice is for this thing. But it's kind of hard to aim it is the problem. Because the hitbox takes a little long to get active. You might situationally be able to use this as an anti-air as well as a whip punish like that. So it's not that bad. Like you can definitely use it. I wouldn't use the EX one because it hit once, but the light one can be used if you want to use it as a whip punisher. Other than that, I think it's more another utility for it is if you're like pick affirming, like let's say you don't feel like you can do, LI combos or anything like that. If you're doing like a pressure string and you notice that they're standing, you might be able to sneak in this instead to get a knockdown. If you feel like you want to get a knockdown instead, right? So like you would do like a string where you're trying to catch them jumping like that, and then you catch them, and then you'll confirm into Mary turn. That's pretty much all I got with this move and its utility. Otherwise, it's very seldom used for other moves that she has. Is that all with that move, do you think, Jai?
What I like to use about Mary Turn on knockdown, sometimes I like waking up with it. I know there's no invul, because it comes out at a decent speed. I use it as a wake up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, whatever. Other than that, it's a special move.
It is another thing. I think what I'm seeing is that it does hit up backer. Like you can't jump up back on it. Like if they are in the air already, it does hit them.
There was an interesting point where Kaji went for a full air chain. He landed first into a Mary Turn for a guard break. Like that. He did it against a SAS player. Other than that, you don't normally want to go for this.
Yeah. Yes, it's seldomly used, but it has some utility. I would say the best utility for it at right now, since I noticed that it can stop people from up backing, is you could probably use it in your frame trap like this as a call out. I wouldn't do it because it's gonna be minus, but like if you think that you can get away with it, it's probably a cool little unblockable that you can do for up back at least. And like as an anti-air, you can kind of just do it, right? If you're confident in your spacing, I would definitely do this. I would use it. I didn't use it before like that, but I'm definitely going to use it now. I think the last special move she has is this garbage.
Worst command throw in the game. This has to be the worst.
It's definitely, I would say it's the worst overall, considering the stats on some of the other command grabs. Like my command grab, the normal one is bad, but the EX one is good, whereas you have no utility whatsoever for all of variations of this command grab. Like, the best you can hope for is when you're doing pressure, you've been pressuring people for a long time, you just, like, I guess you canceled into it, and if they're sleeping, it might hit, right? But they really have to be sleeping. Since people push block a lot in this game, you're going to get hit. You're probably going to get hit most of the time, so it's not even worth going for, since people are always constantly hitting buttons all the time, right? That being said, the EX1 does have the ability to do juggles if you do somehow land it, right? The only other thing I could think of to possibly even attempting to land this is if you land it on if you somehow manage to find a way to time this on the landing frame, which is going to be impossible because they're going to probably hit you on the way down. Yeah, this thing is worse than Jedah's command grab. This is fucking like garbage. Like there's no utility for this whatsoever. This is... She has no command grab, basically, I would say.
Okay, so there's a ghetto runaway strat with ES command throw. You can try to run away from the screen.
Oh, okay, I see that. That is some... There's juice right there.
So the ES version, you jump so much faster. You just want to get out of the corner. Fuck it. Just get out.
Yeah.
There's that. Other than that, you don't normally go for those. Like that, yeah.
That's good utility for it. I would definitely use it in that. Yeah, so as a runaway tool to hope that you get away with it, and you're never gonna hit this move, so you get over here. That's fine. That's useful. But as a tool to kind of land on people, that's the only way you're gonna land it is if you throw it and it hits their landing frame, and it's impossible to aim this thing, so I wouldn't use it. Next are I believe are the supers. She has Li, which is what we've been doing all the time. This is like the super for her. She has two variations, one in the air, one on the ground. The grounded version does more damage. I don't believe she hits the like the combo limit where it like reduces the damage, right? Like Morgan's does, right? Because I believe like there's like a thing that Morgan has where like the combo reaches like 30 hits. I think it's like 31 hits. It will reduce the scaling on it. But since she doesn't hit as much often, she always gets maximum damage for the most part from all her combos. And this super hurts. It does a lot of damage. Combined with her chains, like you can do like 80% combos with this character very easily, very quickly with one bar, and like you can end matches very quickly just by hitting one of those. There are like a ton of ways of hitting this thing, as we explained with the normal section. You know, you got dashing heavy punch, close dashing heavy punch, dashing medium kick, chains. This thing is versatile, and you can use it in like chicken guard situations with frame traps. There's a lot of frame traps with it. There's a lot of ghetto tactics, so you can use it as a get-in tool. Because like if they try, it's dangerous to poke at it. You can hit it, but if you miss, you're gonna eat a ton of damage. It's risky. It is punishable on block, but it's hard to punish. Yo, thanks for the subscription, Magic Dude. Yeah, my boy. Anyway, yeah, like this thing is super hard to punish. Like I think you gotta be on it to punish it. Let me try to get it out. I'm having trouble like that because it kind of like it goes really far away from you, so you try to hit it, and most of the time, most people miss the punish. So it can be punished, but it's difficult to punish. Like I even struggle to punish it sometimes. A lot of tricks with this thing. You can use it while dashing around. You can catch people. You can whip punish with this thing. It's a very versatile super. You have to get it down in your game if you're going to play this character. It has too many uses, and the damage output's worth the effort to learning it. Right.
Right. You can do something. This might be advanced too. When you're chicken blocking, you can buffer an LI. That might be hard to demonstrate here. Sure. That's also a possibility too.
Could probably just do it off this Nikki Jump normal. Like that.
Like that. Stuff like that.
It will look like that.
Yeah.
Very strong. You have like if you're not using this, you're not playing the character at 100% capability. But you can strategize without using it and still be kind of effective, but it's not going to be as an effective character without use of this move. And then that leads into the other super. She has two other supers, so I'll go over this one first. So, yeah, so for me, this super, you can combo into it off a low forward. So that means that it's okay to have some uses for it, right? Like, you can use that as a slight replacement to LI if you feel that you need to do that, right? And if you're doing, like, frame traps and stuff like that very well in the corner, you could probably sneak it in if they're holding up back, right? And get a combo that way. The damage output's not going to be as high as LI, but it's not too bad. Also, the hitbox in it is all red around it from front to back. So it just hits, right? I don't think it's invulnerable, right? I don't think it has a total startup.
That super can anti-air. I wish.
Yeah, the hitbox is good on it, but sometimes wacky stuff will happen where you hit it from max range and they'll fall backwards, which I think I'll attempt to demonstrate. Like weird stuff like that where it'll just get like one hit or something. But it's not that bad of an anti-air, right? But I wouldn't bank on it over doing anything more solid, right? It's not a bad super. It definitely has uses, but you're not going to really see it over the utility of LI. Like, this super just trumps it, right? And that's where your meter's better spent. But if you think you can sneak it in, then I wouldn't discourage you from using it. It does have some decent use cases, right? Not the worst super, for sure. Definitely good. I think it's okay. I think it's fine to use in your toolkit. Do you have anything else about that super? Okay, or is that pretty much it?
Never use this.
You don't use it at all. I mean, like, look at this whip punish. It's sick.
It's a super I never ever use.
Look at that sick whip punish.
I can't. I need to burn all my meter for.
Okay,
fireball,
so then this is a hitbox. This is a hitbox move, and I would definitely use this. Hitbox cheater hitbox uppercut players can use this move. Pretty good. Yeah, I would use this as a whip punisher around that range if I felt like it. Like if I'm just gonna be like, yup, just checking, you know. But you see how long she's in the air for, and I believe I'm not sure how long, but she has landing frame recovery, so you're gonna die if it misses. That's the biggest flaw with the move, and the fact that it's not invulnerable. And that leads into the last super, which is the meme super. Yeah, showtime. Let's see if I can get that out. It's very difficult to do hazard hurdles. There are 6 patterns for this thing. So the way that it works is you play a rhythm game, and I'm going to make it do 0. It's possible to get no points, and you do no damage. This is a 2-bar super, so you're burning 2 bars. When that means you could have did 2 LIs and probably ended the match, right? But it does have one limited use, right, against the air dashing characters, because air dashers cannot block, right? So you might be able to close rounds against them with this, right? Another thing of note is that you'll see the pattern. I'm just gonna mash in a rhythm where the button prop comes out, and sometimes you can get it to just like do a little bit more points. This is the hardest pattern. I'm not even hitting the correct buttons, and I got 39 points. So like you can kind of generally mash around the rhythm with any like most of the buttons, and it'll still count, right? The higher the points, the more damage it gets.
Almost LI damage.
It can technically do more damage than LI if you get like a ton of points, but it's just inconsistent. You need to be good at the rhythm game, and there's 6 variations of it, right? The only other thing to know about is if you somehow manage to hit this, you can combo. Like I said, you can get a juggle state. It's technically possible to combo into that off of that, but you can combo to LI off of that too. So why would I bother? Like I could just do LI and combo off of that as a juggle, right? But yeah, like I said, against air dashing opponents, people they'll just eat it, and sometimes you can use it in that regard. But you got better things to spend 2 bars on, right, than to do the meme. But if you want to kill somebody with it, then yeah, it's fine. It's fine to meme on people sometimes. I'm missing. Bad timing, man. I'm a horrible Beat Mania player.
Hey, you still got 50 points, whatever.
Yeah, man. Jai knows how bad I am at Beat Mania. And then that leads into the final thing, I think, right? Is her Dark Horse. Yeah. She has. Does she have 2 versions? I think, right, or just 1?
Yes, she does.
Okay, so she has. Version? This is the Morrigan version. So this is achieved by doing heavy punch plus heavy kick, and the utility is you can just mash. You're just gonna hit buttons all day, and then when it ends, you do like a chain into LI, right? And that's pretty much it with this one. The thing about the Morrigan ones is that technically, I would just consider this as a pseudo corner anywhere on the screen, right? So like you could do like weird stuff because there's like gonna be fireballs on 2 sides of you and shit like that. It's not that bad when the Lilith uses it in the grounded base sense, because you know you can do some weird like little traps like this, right? And it can be a little tough to get out, especially when there's like 2 EX fireballs coming in, right? And it will do a lot of chip damage too. That's another use case for it, because like doing 2 EX fireballs in this is gonna do a ton of chip. But overall, since the utility of using Luminous Illusion is so good on its own, we generally don't go into the Dark Force. But it is invulnerable, and you can do like Dark Force into the throw to get like a quick knockdown, right? To get them off of you if you think you're being pressured, right? And that's one way to using this. But I think this is the easier Dark Force to use, because it's you know, like the utility for it is pretty obvious. You can just like get infinites off of this for how long the Dark Force lasts, right? You can do ghetto resets. You get big damage off of it. Pretty simple to use. Astral Vision is okay. It's not a bad Dark Force, but we generally don't use it too much. Do you feel the same way, Jai?
Yeah, because normally times where Dark Force even comes out for Lilith is Mish push block attempts, because I piano for push block. That's my method. And depending on how sloppy my input, sometimes our Dark Force will come out. And when that happens, I gotta do whatever I can just to like build a wall just to deactivate.
And then that leads into the last Dark Force, which you can achieve by hitting either Light Punch and Light Kick together, which will give her the clones, or Medium Punch and Medium Kick. They're both the same thing. So what happens is you get a clone that mimics your moves, right? And basically, there isn't too much utility on the ground game. I don't think you can do like stuff like you can make the clone becoming unblockable. See, I'm trying to do it right here. It's not working. But you can make good frame traps off of it. So like you can make custom frame traps and stuff like that. But it's not. It doesn't have much use. But there is one thing that it can do when you're activated in this mode, which I'll attempt to demonstrate, is that it allows Lilith to get juggle combos with her TK fireballs, which I'm going to try to do. You can either do this with Mary Turn on ground, or you can do it with Uppercut. I definitely prefer to use Uppercut as a starter. And basically, you can just juggle TK fireballs endlessly until the meter drains. And then before the meter drains, you can do like a TK Luminous Illusion to end the combo. It does a lot of damage. You can even do EX fireballs in this route, which is pretty cool. Pretty fancy combo. But it's kind of difficult to activate and to hit the starter with that. They really had, and it only works in this corner situation. So very limited utility to getting that situation to occur. So I would say that Astral Vision would be the preferred for overall usefulness, because it's so like this is too situational. Like you have to be rushing them down, and the Dark Force startup combined with all that stuff, how long the Dark Force activate is, it's going to be very rare that you're going to hit an uppercut in that situation in the corner to get that combo. But it is cool, though, and that's all that matters. I think that's pretty much it with my knowledge of this Dark Force. Do you have anything else?
Oh, it's definitely... I never practiced any of those combos at all, but it's very combo video-like, and it's not something I want to go for. Yeah. But it's really cool, though.
It is cool. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I got with the utility of her moves. We could probably just talk about general matchup stuff, I guess, right? After this, yeah. That's pretty much it. So how do you feel about this matchup?
So this matchup, like, definitely in Wolf's favor. Jump speed, damage-wise, Lilith can barely handle anything from this. It's not something you can out-neutral at all, but the things you have for this matchup is easily your Soul Flash. TK Soul Flash, discourage jumping, and sometimes the ground one too, discourage like random beast cannons. Like that. Oh.
So this is going to be like a primary like Soul Flash utility matchup, you feel?
Yeah, it's very Soul Flash heavy, and you're slowly going to inch your way in just to get close, because Wolf is just so fast for Lilith.
The good news is, as a for Lilith, since she's a ground-based dashing character, that even though like Wolf jump-ins are very strong, Lilith can just utilize her dashing to get through, right, and not have to deal with that. And then you can aim your buttons on his landing frames to make sure that he doesn't get another attack. So although his jumping's strong, dashing around or walking under him is definitely encouraged, so that way you can keep pounding him with buttons. And your goal, like most other matchups, is to get him in this position where he's at his weakest, right? See, like the Fireball utility, as Diar stated, is going to be the key to this matchup, because you need those knockdowns to get him closer to this corner, because this is the situation you need to happen, right?
Right, like that.
You need him to be over here to make this character effect, because if he's on neutral, you're one jumping away from losing too much health, and the matchup will just snowball in his favor, right?
All it takes.
Like, all it takes is one of these, and you're done.
But what's so nice about Crouching Wolf? That makes your cross-up medium kick really easy to confirm, because he's so much fatter.
Yeah, he's very huge when he's crouching. So like super jump and medium kick from really long range is going to tag him a lot. And his grounded, although he's very strong while he's air to air, his grounded jump ins, although they're fast, there are ways for you to beat them. And you have super jump, so like sometimes they just go a little too early, and you just happen to whiff, and you get a full combo because that will happen. This is a massive recovery frames, and he doesn't really have too many other anti-airs besides like roundhouse, which will be decent, but wolf players don't really use it too much. Yo, thanks for the follow, Flavor Town.
So another thing
yeah.
So Beast Cannon. So what's so nice, because you're an uppercut character, you can uppercut on the first block's ES Beast Cannon just to discourage attempts. Or if you're quick enough, you can go for guard councils on the first Beast Cannon hit. And you're very, because other characters don't have this luxury, because if you don't have an uppercut, you just gotta like eat it.
Yeah, so like after blocking the first Beast Cannon, like you can discourage the use of the second one by just doing the uppercut, right? Is what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. So generally, like when you block a Beast Cannon, they're probably gonna go, like. There's a lot of mind games to it because it has a lot of utility. They can get it to whiff. They can go behind you and then come back, or they can get it to end up on top of you. There's a lot of variations. This move is probably one of the most versatile moves in the game as far as its utility. But because you're an uppercut character, you can discourage the use of the second one by like using crosscut inputs and stuff like that, right? So you have the option to discourage him from doing his second approach, whereas other characters have to hold that sometimes.
Yeah, they gotta block it, and sometimes the guess unblocked most. The way you just block the wrong way and you just get it.
Yeah, so the key to the matchup, I feel like overall, as stated, is the slow flash around the screen. Make him land on it. Just build this like a wall so he can land on it, right? If you can anti-air him, it's a plus, but it's very difficult, and you might get killed for trying, right? At least on neutral. Your goal is to make him block on the ground so you can get him over here, right? And this is where your character becomes more powerful, because then you can use a lot of brain traps and stuff to keep him honest, right? If you're struggling to do the anti-airs and stuff, I would encourage you to be as far away as possible when dealing with this character, because most of your anti-airs aren't going to be like the direct. There's only like two anti-airs. There's this position right here where uppercut's effective, right? There's this position right here where walk back heavy punch is going to be effective, and then there's this position right here where it's going to get really weird. You can use like medium punch. You can use a Mary turn, as we just found out, right? Which can be used, but it's like definitely not preferred. Medium punch would probably be better around that range, but you want to move around. You never want to be like inactive around this. You want to pick the ranges where you want to go for it, and then you want to commit to that range, because if you're not committing and you delay for even a second, that jump is going to hit you and you will lose very quickly. Primarily though, you want this situation that happens so you can do some offense, and then apply the tick through game to keep him grounded as much as possible. And then maximize your damage when you can. He does have one flaw where he does have less life total than the other characters, right? So like hitting him with like 2 LI combos will kill him. So he does a lot of damage, but you do too, right?
Right.
So you both have good burst damage, but you have to get him in the corner to get access to your burst damage, or at least make it a little bit better. Whereas he can just like yup and throw this out, and if you're not on point, you will lose a lot of life, or he's gonna hit you with low forward and combo into that as well, right? And I think that's pretty much it for that matchup.
Yeah, those mostly the biggest key points for the Wolf matchup.
Move on to another matchup. All right, let's go. I'm gonna just get this one out of the way. I'm just gonna get it out of the way because I'm sad.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Matchup.
This matchup is, as with all Anakaris matchups, is free for the other character, but you have to be, you have to know how to do that. One of the key things in the matchup is that you have a block string infinite. So the main goal is to get a huge life lead, right? And then you can ride on that to victory. Another thing is that Anakaris loses to bullying tactics, right? He's very susceptible to eating tick throws all day, right? It's very difficult for him to get out of this. So the goal for the Anakaris player is to like make sure that he always has the life lead, and to tag you out of all your offensive attempts, right? He's good at doing that, right? That's his only saving grace is if I can outmaneuver you on neutral. So this is a very neutral heavy matchup where I'm trying to make sure I don't get too greedy in an approach because I don't want to eat an uppercut or anything like that, right? However, this character has a lot of good, interesting tools. Your crouching medium punch stuff's a lot of my key neutral tools, right? And you can duck under a lot of my key neutral tools. So like you can duck under my medium punch, you can duck under my heavy punch. You can't deal with my jab though, thank God.
That move's annoying.
If you could duck under this, this matchup would be total garbage, right? But because you can't, I can at least play the matchup just a little bit. But I have to still deal with the uppercut meta, where like sometimes I'll go for attack, and if I'm too greedy, I eat an uppercut for it. So I have to be careful. Because your character has a super jump, sometimes the character will just get through. Sometimes she'll get through your normal, and I'm gonna eat big damage for it, right? If I'm too greedy with where I'm spacing my pokes, right? So I have to be very careful. Overall, this is a matchup where the goal for Lilith is to get either this position where you can get the corner and I have to deal with a lot of pressure, and I can attempt the dash back, or we're going to play the chicken game, but you can definitely catch him with a backdash and do LI or something. Catch him for doing that, right? Or you just bully him with throws repeatedly. This is like the default way for most of the cast to kill him. It's just kind of like loop situations where you do tick throw setups that lead into option select throw. And the only way that he can get out of that is hope that you screw up and mash jab and get a knockdown that way to reset the offense. That's pretty much it for that matchup, I would say, right? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, key points, infinite block strings, counter pokes are pretty good with countering medium punch. Overall, it's a very timeout heavy matchup because if we can't hit each other, we're just gonna out-neutral each other. And the game sets when you can get that first touch.
Yep.
And that's all for this character.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that's how the matchup will go. Like, that's how I feel the matchup's going. It's not his worst matchup, but it can get pretty bad in snowball if I don't out-neutral her, right? Like, if she has the life lead, it's pretty much, if I don't have neutral control, it's just done. And even if you're not doing infinite block strings, her damage output's so high. Right, like I can easily make a mistake and she can get a comeback with one LI attempt. That's pretty much how I feel about the matchup overall. Not his worst matchup. It's definitely, I think I played it as a 6-4.
Yep, slight favor. It's
if I absorb this Soul Flash, so one thing, it's impossible to grab this thing because it's near her. It's super hard. I think I've only grabbed it one time against you.
Oh shit! Look at that.
In my entire career playing this game, but. Yes, I can grab the Soul Flash, and as you can see, I can do pretty cool pressure strings. I could probably do that unblockable I was talking about.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, so technically my utility with this is you die.
Much better with that.
Yeah, so yeah, my character is better than Lilith with her own fireball. Look,
that's good. Soul Flash into portal. Does that work? Yeah,
Let me try. That wasn't good enough. I don't like that attempt. Oh, portal keeps coming up.
Like wait.
This is my pad. I'm playing on an analog on this character, so.
And portal.
That might be guaranteed. That may be guaranteed. That's pretty cool. I actually haven't checked any utility because I have too hard of a time grabbing this thing. Because mostly her pressure makes it so that it's really hard to grab it, right?
Right.
And it's too risky. But utility wise, my character technically is better than her with it. Like, look at that. She can't dive kick off of that.
No. Like, look what overhead? Love doesn't have any of that stuff.
Like, this is super cheap. I could just, like overhead the hell out of you with this, probably, like, throw it out, and then I'm going to dive kick on top of you. And there's not much she can do about it. So if I had grabbed it, the matchup will probably be 5.5. Because he's better than her, and I get access to unblockables that she can't, or she struggles to do, right? Like, I just like that. If you block that low, I'm going to dive kick you. And I get free damage from that. Not much you can do about that. Look at that damage. It's decent damage. So, pretty cool. That's pretty much how I feel about the matchup overall. As an Anakaris player, you're not going to catch that. You could try, but you're probably going to die for it. But if you do grab it, you're a better character in the matchup. You're still, like, disadvantaged but you have more fun tools to play with and become a lot stronger. All right, moving on to the next matchup. Let's see. Which one do you prefer, Jai, to go over?
Let's see. Do Sasquatch.
Sasquatch? Oh, the classic.
You know, do this matchup. So believe it or not, so Sasquatch being number 2 top tier in the game, Lilith can actually fight this despite being like mid to low tier. Like one special move alone, the Soul Flash, TK Soul Flash discourages them from random hops. It discourages from just mindlessly advancing. Just that special move alone just gives her a fighting chance in this matchup. On top of dashing normals, it's really, really easy to pressure Sasquatch with your use of really good plus normals against him. On top of you can in a sense you can out damage him sometimes if you can get those confirms. And because of all of that, you have a fighting chance. It's still in Sass's favor because of absurd damage, but she can fight it for sure.
Yes. Yeah, like on my perspective from being an Anakaris player, having good ground control is very helpful to discouraging the Sasquatch player from kind of mindlessly advancing. There's probably ranges where TK Fireball is going to be at its best and where ground Fireball can be used. So I would say, like, if you're going to use a ground Fireball, this range is preferred because the closer you are, the easier it is to hit the hop. If he's too far away, he might be able to hit you like that. So you want to, in these ranges, you want to make sure that TK Fireball is to go to because then he can't hit the button because then his hurt box is going to hit it like that, right? So further away you are, the more you have to use TK. Closer you are, you can use grounded Fireball because his dash won't clear it. You like as Diar mentioned, you out damage him. You can out damage him. It's possible for you to do even more damage than he does as long as you can pressure him, right? But you have to be careful. Anytime he tags you, like let's say if you're being too greedy with jumps, if you get hit out of the air, that's a dashing attempt for him, and you have to deal with a high-low, right? You do have uppercut to kind of mitigate that a little bit, but again, like his damage output's so high, and if it's blocked, you're probably going to lose a ton of health for it, right? I would say overall, you would be attempting to play around this range. I would start off with doing a fireball, but if you're on point, you can start off with dash medium punch around this range to get a knockdown, or at least hit them out of the dash startup, right? And then you can start moving them across the screen. That's probably the best way to do that. If you don't think you're going to be there, backdashes are probably encouraged because you might be able to get away from the short hop, depending on that. Like I would say, like a backdash fireball would probably be like worth it because like even if he was able to get the hit, he would still have to deal with the fireball. Overall, I feel like the matchup is definitely winnable. I agree with you on that regard.
Winnable. It's hard, but it's definitely doable for this character.
Definitely winnable. But once he starts up, he's every character is the same.
Yeah.
If he starts up, you're doomed. Do not let him rush down. Don't let him do whatever he wants. Right? Yes. But it's going to be hard. You're going to have a tough time because as soon as you get touched, you have to deal with his overhead and low mix-up as soon as he touches you, and that it's hard. It's hard to deal with. Push blocking is you're going to have that down as much as possible, and particularly this range, right? Because you want to. If you don't have it, he will get in for free. If you're not poking, you better have good push block, or you better move. Try to make it as difficult for Sasquatch to get in. You want to either achieve it around this range, going TK, or you want to already be attacking, right? If he's playing the more like passive version, you have more of a chance of winning because his normals, some of his normals, Lilith can kind of get and tag him out of it, right? So like Crouching Fierce, although it's very good in front, you have super jump, so it's a little harder for him to anti-air that without being on point, right? He has to delay the hell out of that thing, right?
It's one of the few matchups where Crouching Sasquatch, your jumping Fierce Punch can actually cross up sometimes.
Yeah.
Because how fat he is.
He's kind of fat in the air.
Like that, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, he's definitely super fat, so while he's crouching.
And also, jumping Light Punch, surprisingly, that can cross up sometimes. That, yeah. It's
I'll
weird.
try. It's kind of hard to
really
get that.
weird.
Because like you see how his push box is shaped. So like if I don't land it on the back
Right.
of that one that's on the top, it's not gonna happen. It'll just fall right down. Which is a problem I have in this matchup because he's a square and I can't dive kick him. I hate when characters are squares. But overall, I agree with you. This matchup very difficult, but is achievable with high skill. It can be done, and you'll look badass doing it.
Thank you.
Because when this character wins, it's much cooler than this character winning. This is boring.
Oh, he has limelight for like decades already. He can win.
He's done it all. He's mixed up people for many years. You had your time. You're not cool. That's pretty much how I feel about that matchup too. I agree.
Yeah, winnable.
Yep. Moving on. Next one.
Do Queen Bee.
All right. This is a hard matchup for you. I don't know that.
Oh, easily one of her hardest. The fact that she can crouch, her crouching alone invalidates your top 3 buttons. So you only work with your kicks in this matchup when she crouches. On top of, you lose your precious DP. You can't use that when she's crouching either.
At least she can't duck that.
Yeah, she can't duck stand medium kick. So,
yeah, so
TK Soul Flash, another really good tool, again, just to discourage just like getting bebopped and just getting rushed down.
Yeah, the good news is that like although her air dash is super strong, it tracks. So if they're doing too many air dash, they track into the fireball. So they just get hit. So they have to stop themselves from air dashing. They need, in order for V to operate in this matchup, they have to first strike you and start up the offense that manner. If you're on neutral, they can't really dash per se because they might dash directly into the normal itself. So most of the time, they're probably going to use float as their main source of tool to make sure that you're blocking. So I think the key to this matchup is to utilize movement and use TK Soul Flash to discourage that, and then check and see if she's in the air. If she's in the air, it's going to be rough. But you're going I would say like a defensive use of super jump medium kick would be pivotal in the matchup, especially if they're floating, because you don't want her directly to end up in front of you or on top of you, because then she's just going to aim her air dash to hit you, right? You want to, I would say, being around here with movement and kind of using your soul flashes is the key to the matchup until you're able to get her in this position where you can land a luminous illusion combo. I feel that's the key to the matchup. The good news is that you can duck under her normals too.
It's nice because this is a good example for her crouching Fierce Punch for Lilith. That's a good time when she's trying to like dashing medium punch against you. There are moments where you can counterpoke in this matchup. Like stuff like that. You can duck that with crouching Fierce Punch. There are moments like that where you can fight like that. Yeah, that's a good example.
I do know that, like on Lilith, I do see Kaji throwing this character a lot. Is there any reason why that happens?
I don't know, because believe it or not, Lilith's throw game is actually minus.
Did you see that? Hold on, I want to do that again.
Hold
on. Look at that.
Okay, so yes, like I said, the top 3 punches you can't use against this matchup.
Yeah, but you're ducking. You're going through her normal too.
Oh shit! So this is where the wackiness starts. So when you get that come out, you can go for something like an Li confirm or a throw. So this is the weird interactions with this character with that move. Sometimes you can get stuff like that to come out.
So I would say like dashing medium kick would be the key, like go to dashing normal then this matchup, right?
Yeah, easily your medium kicks.
Yeah, so like you would do like dashing medium kick into hit confirmed Li would be the go-to for the matchup overall.
Or just in case they up back your throw attempt to become an OS, stuff like that too. Like that, yeah.
Like you can still do your pressure. You just have to refrain from doing a lot of your standing punch normals. Although some weird stuff will happen sometimes when you do dashing punches. But overall, I think the mindset to go with in this matchup is to be mobile, use your TK soul flashes to discourage dashes, in which case they're probably going to end up using float. In which case you should probably still be moving a lot. But be careful when you're doing air pokes because then CR goes into play. And that move beats mostly everything, right? This move is, I discourage you from trying to poke at the move. You will lose a majority of the time. Like, that's the best you can hope for in the trade. It is possible to punish it, but like, I heavily discourage it. If anything, if you want to punish it, you want to get around her. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah, Lilith's crouching medium punch can go through the fireball, frame trap stuff. So like majority of the time, you're just gonna use strikes.
Yeah, because you can't go for ground fireball strings because she can easily poke out like that.
And your uppercut doesn't work.
You know, she can duck it. That sucks. So also this matchup, you can't really guard cancel too often either.
Yeah, because your uppercut whips on a crouching QB. So if she's doing a grounded normal, it doesn't work.
Yeah, good luck. Dang.
So yeah, this is like an unfortunate matchup, but there are some utility due to soul flash. So the key is to hopefully that you strike her. Hopefully it's with a super drop, so that way you can move her around and then use pressure in the corner. Refraining from doing any special moves because they don't work. The only special move you're going to use is Li. And
so
that's
so nice because her damage, you actually outdamage QB. That's the only winning factor in this matchup, and you can even keep her out really well too in this matchup. Like if you can keep damage high, space well with fireballs, you can definitely win this matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely winnable, but you need to understand the rule sets of the matchup. If you don't, then well, you're going to deal with this all day. Yeah, you're not going to have fun. And yeah, that's a lot of new players struggle in this matchup because they don't understand the rule sets. That you don't want to be here. This is bad. This is a bad position, right? Because you're just going to get repeatedly overhead. You want to move in this matchup. This is a very neutral heavy matchup for the entire roster. If you're not moving, you will lose. It doesn't matter what character it is. I think that's pretty much it for this matchup, right? There's nothing more to it.
Key points.
I think
space well.
Yeah.
Throw.
Another thing is I think she's one of the fatter characters, but your medium kick won't hit. See?
Oh, what?
But your heavy punch will.
So dumb.
So you want to use heavy punch a little bit more in this matchup than jumping medium kick. Like the only time you're using medium kicks is for like air airs, or if you're trying to win up here. But jump heavy punch is the better tool in this matchup. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's move on.
So let's do Raptor.
Oh, okay.
So the best character in the game. Believe it or not, everybody, Lilith can actually fight this. It might not be a full advantage, but she has tools in this game that can discourage some of the best rushdown in the game. TK Soul Flash, sometimes ground Soul Flash can tag stuff out. Uppercut is really good here because of guard cancel attempts. You have really great normals, dashing normals, to confirm with. Sometimes you even outdamage him at times if you can keep it up. But other than that, she loses so horribly in neutral because sometimes Zabel's like long reaching normals can just like nick everything you do. And it's definitely a high neutral matchup again, but it's definitely winnable.
Any tips that you have for keeping him from coming in besides the soul flash?
Easily, you gotta keep your dash movement game like fast. You have to be flowing with this character, moving. Don't be standing still. You want to time soul flashes at weird angles to discourage from just the rush down from Zabel.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like vary your timings. So dashing stand jab sometimes is really good. You can sometimes hit him out of his air dashes if you're close enough, like that. Yes. And if you can go for those, you add more advantage and you're pushing him more towards the corner. So that's where you're getting your big damage in.
Be aware that this character also has a teleport, so you have to read that as well. But he dies in this matchup if he doesn't do it right. So like even though he has the ability to get out of situations, it's he's sacrificing, he's making a huge gamble and he's gonna lose a ton of life for it. Where other characters is probably okay, right? This matchup you will lose a lot of life if you do a bad teleport. So don't like think that's an easy out.
So here's an interesting thing you gotta remember with Lilith throw in the corner. If you throw Raptor and he techs it, he can go for a command throw. That's a very universal Lilith punch for the game, so do keep that in mind.
Oops, didn't get my command grab.
You like right on tag command throw is just like you're gonna eat it.
You're getting bad news. Oh, this pad is weird. Not the best pad for its demonstrate. There it goes.
Stuff like that. So do be careful. Okay, there are a counter to this because you know the other guy's gonna do that OS. This is where you DP after I run throw tag.
Oh, forget it. Failing at this. Nope, other way. You'll do that, something like that.
It looks like that, just in case. So do be careful of the throw. It is minus on block and corner, and they can do the throw S. So do be careful of that for throws in the corner.
Anything else in this matchup?
You can't really throw ground fireballs too often because Raptor sweep can go under it, sadly.
Oh, it can? That's the
worst. Oh my god, that's the worst. Oh, like that.
I see. Very painful for you.
And also, his crouching jab can anti-air his Lilith normals pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's really, really good. Because you
like
gotta move with it sometimes.
Can Crawl go under fireball, you think? No, it doesn't.
No, hell no, that would suck.
No, only this. Look at that thing. Dumb. Yeah, that would definitely suck if he could do what Talbain could do. This match would be like 1,000 times worse. Yeah, I feel like overall, you have quite a bit of things, but you have to know all the situational stuff to win out on the match exchange, right? And you have to be very careful because obviously he's got a bunch of weird moves. You can change trajectories if he feels like it. There's a couple call out. Ground and neutral is hard to get around, but again, like you have high burst damage, so he has to be careful too, right? Any slip up, and he's gonna pay the price with a lot of damage. The damage output that you do makes the matchup like winnable. Yeah, so it'll probably more than likely be a 6-4. TK Soul Flash is going to be highly encouraged in this matchup. I would say around this range is probably the best because you want to make sure that they're doing stuff right, because obviously if you do TK Soul Flash or something like that, they can probably snipe you with this. So you have to make sure that you discourage them from using the ground normals, right? And the way you do that is you attack them. You jump over their ground normals or change your trajectory, right? Make sure that they're stopping hitting buttons, and then they'll probably do an aerial approach, in which case you can use one of your options to beat the aerial approach. You have uppercuts. You can go for the jab trade. You can try to just win the air-to-air, right? And as with all matchups with Lilith, you want to achieve this situation, right? Where you're at your strongest, right? The pressure will work in this matchup, so it's not like he's immune to getting pressured, and your burst damage is high enough to win the matchup. But you're definitely having a hard fought battle within this neutral mid-screen position. So you have to be careful.
Oh, also one big thing. This is hard to do for Raptor. On block DPs, Raptor has like a 1 or 2 frame DP landing where he can just like the fastest IED into a confirm.
Oh, so he has like a situational, like a high damage combo.
He does on block DPs. It's crazy because Retardivore fucks me up all the time with that.
Okay.
So do be careful for DPs in this matchup. It's good, but just do be careful.
Okay. So like at highest level, the punishment goes up to higher.
Oh yes, because he's the best character in the game.
Yeah. But yeah, you would still say that's like a 6-4 though, right?
It's still a 6-4, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, Lilith can still be unblockable, but sometimes you can reversal DP out of unblockable situations. It's hard to do, but it's something to go for because you know it's an unblockable setup, so just go for them.
Mm-hmm. So then they have to guess whether you're going to do DP or not, and then do a block it instead.
For you.
Yeah, it becomes a mind game then instead. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it with this matchup. It's going to be difficult like the other one, but you have tool sets to hold it. It's a hard really hard 6-4.
Alright, Mar, take a pick.
Let's do Lei-Lei.
Oh, this is one of Lilith's hardest matchup easily. The biggest thing, Lei-Lei's medium punches in general, her jumping medium punch, like stops everything you do. That, her ground normals are amazing, you can get outpoked. Her item throws can discourage you from advancing sometimes during block strings.
Huh?
She can out pressure you actually because of all the craziness she can do. And oh my gosh, it's definitely a hard matchup because it's also another neutral heavy game. You can't mash soul flashes too much because of the threat of gong. You can get it reflected at you.
Yeah.
And she can also crouch under that with her sweep. So you can't go for...
Oh, that sucks for you.
Yes, so you can't really go for strings like that.
Slides of the curse for you.
Oh, yes. Overall, it's definitely not in her favor. It's still in Lei-Lei's favor. It's hard, it's winnable, but it's an uphill battle. It feels like you're working as hard compared to the Zabel matchup.
So similar to the Zabel matchup, you would say?
Yeah, it's very similar.
Except, like, not as hardcore.
Well, the damage can go crazy too, because everyone fought Snuggles at this point.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff with him.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like as threatening as Raptor, you would say, though, right?
Right, it's not as threatening.
But it's still hard. I could definitely see it because yeah, jumping medium punch very difficult to beat. Jab. Well, like the thing is, like uppercut will beat it. So you do have a tool set to beat that, but she has so many things she can do out of, dashing and doing all her options. She has all this pendulum stuff, so it's kind of tricky to even get to the situation where this is going to work, right? You're basically gambling that they're going to be over there. The key, I feel that the matchup is to rush her down, because she's like, I feel she's more susceptible to rush down the Raptor would be, right? And she doesn't have any like crazy tools where she's going to like get out of situations magically. She definitely, this is probably where the fault of the character is in the matchup. So like, she's very good on the neutral, has good neutral tools and all the control and stuff like that, but she's susceptible to being rushed down. So I think you're basically one air-to-air away, and especially with your super jump being as good as it is, even though like the jump medium punch is difficult to beat. Like if you air-to-air it, at worst you're gonna get a trade, but if you win that trade, you go straight to the corner where she's gonna have a lot of trouble. And this is where your tool set gets more effective than hers. Even though she has a gong and crazy shit like that, they're still too slow to stopping her gameplay. So I feel like that's where the matchup is. It's like you're gonna work hard to get the hit, but if you do get a clean hit and can force the situation over here, that's where your character has the advantage. But if she's in control of the screen at all, you're gonna have a hard time catching her. And yeah, it's probably another one of your hard 6-4s, right? You would say?
Oh, easily another hard 6-4. Because her anti-air game is actually really good. Crouching medium punch,
Yep. She's
The
got
roundhouse
really.
is really good too. Crouching
Mhm.
roundhouse. She has amazing anti-air tools,
Or
so you
heavy
can't really jump
punch,
in.
or medium punch can be used as a preemptive anti-air
That
on the
too.
ground.
The
Hit,
roundhouse kick, a slow anti-air. She has
yeah,
that too.
yeah, you can use roundhouse to hit from pretty far away. It's not the best anti-air, but it can be done. It can be done.
Right. She has the crouching roundhouse, I think, too.
That oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
That's very good as anti-air. Very,
Yeah.
very
So
good.
yeah, this causes knockdown, and she gets a free like OTG, and I think she gets to do Tenrai High after this as well.
Yes. Yeah, she can sign her off of that.
Yeah. So super strong, hard, very difficult matchup for you. But winnable only if you one can take your time, beat the approaches, or you go in with a risk and just run in and try to force the situation to occur. But you definitely don't want to play around her neutral. If you're trying to play around her neutral, you're gonna get hit all the time. You're probably gonna lose. You want to either play as far away as possible and try to stuff the approaches as best as you can, right? Or you rush in, and that's all. I think that's the best way to play the matchup. I don't think playing around the mid range with her in control will work out ever in your favor. But it's still a 6-4. Like it's definitely winnable. But I think that's a matchup where you need to understand the rules, rather than like just play around what your tool set is. If you don't understand the rules of that matchup, you're gonna probably lose because you're gonna play to her in her favor. Let's go with Fish. I think this is another hard matchup for you, right?
Oh, it's one of the few matchups in the game where the bubble loop in the corner is inescapable if the Fish player can set it up correctly. So this matchup, if Fish can get the knockdown first in the corner and it has a ton of meter, that's goodbye to your first bat. Because that's all it takes to lose in this matchup. And in my opinion, it can be a hard 6-4, but there are tools to out neutral Fish actually, because Lilith's crouching medium punch can anti-air, like I mentioned earlier, like that, yeah. That can actually anti-air at max range like that.
Even the jumping light kick of Doom. Oh yeah, it can.
Oh, yeah, it can. So that's what's so nice. It's hard to aim, but I go for it. I like using that. You
All
have
right, that's not too bad.
like that. You have your DP. You have TK Soul Flash to discourage random jumps. So, Fish is one of the few characters that can actually dash under. Yes, like that. Oh. So do be careful if you mistime it, because Fish can go under.
Yo,
those.
thanks for the follow, egg roll, FGC.
And
Yeah,
because of how
the good news is that even though he can dash under this, he can't hit the button too quickly because he gets punched.
Okay, cool.
So like he can get through, but he has to not hit a button. So at best you're probably gonna eat a throw. I would just do a throw.
There are moments where he can like dashing sweep. He'll go for trade attempts.
Yeah, it'll be like this.
Like that, right there.
Like, yeah, that'll definitely. I can see that happening for sure. But if you're closer, that eliminates that for being as threatening. So I think if you're around this range where your medium punches, that discourages that from happening, or they're gonna have to like delay. See, it's hard. So I think that's probably what you're supposed to do, because like if you're playing around here, it'll definitely happen. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the exhibition. It was super fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I think yeah, this is the sauce right here. Then Jack, you want to be around this range, it's because like yes, it can still happen where you get outspaced, right? But it's very difficult for them to aim that normal. Very difficult, and it's more common for them to hit early than late, right? Or not do anything, right? Because like Fish players do like to dash and hit a button immediately. Is there anything else in the matchup? Do you have anything to stuff this?
Oh, drill! I'll forget about it. That's gonna hit you. You gotta block those. You
just have to block them. Okay.
You have to block these. There's no normal that you can like outstuff that.
Oh yeah, it looks like it. Oh, that's terrible.
No way.
Let me try this. Oh my god, no.
Oh, forget about it. No.
Yeah. You're right. I think I think you don't have anything.
So another interesting escape tactic when you're in the corner, when the Fish player makes time a bubble setup, you can like jump and Li out just in case.
So
There are weird moments
like something like that, right?
If they were to mistime their setup, so.
Oh. Oops!
Yeah, you gotta jump a lot.
I understand I understand where it's going. You'll be doing like something super high up in the air to make this hop over them.
Right.
It's hard to do this with 2 controllers in my hands. Any other intricacies in the matchup? Wait, I should probably just investigate your ground buttons to see what stops the dash.
It's easily her medium kick, because your punches in this matchup are not the greatest. You gotta use your kicks in this matchup.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a medium kick matchup. So, it's... Yeah, like, this is going to be a matchup I feel like you have to pressure him, right? And make sure that you don't screw up. Because you're one throw away from losing this matchup.
From that, and getting looped and die.
Yeah. So, this is a matchup that you need to be really good at your pressure in order to get what you need. But it is possible to kind of play it a little passively, but you need to understand the rule set. Like, you can't throw grounded fireballs from right around here, because you're going to eat a dashing sweep if they do it properly, right? Something like that will happen. And also, it's probably discouraged anyway because they have gas. Right? Gas, so it's not even worth doing that. This is more of you need to force the situation, right, and maneuver onto them and kind of just try to achieve rush down any way that you can. You can kind of play it safe, but playing safe means that you have to deal with more gas and more sonic wave, and you might get hit accidentally and probably lose because of it. So the more passive you play, the more opportunities you get to accidentally kill yourself, right?
Right.
But also doing rush down and doing it improperly gets you killed too, right? It's hard. It's a hard matchup because you just have to play really well. And if you screw up once, then you might lose. The main goal, as with all characters in this matchup, you never want to be in the corner. If you're in the back of the corner, you're in danger of losing the match. So you want to fight with not being in the corner in mind. You always want to try to maintain mid-screen as much as possible, which is easier said than done because his pressure strings are pretty damn good.
Oh, he's obnoxious. Crouching jabs from Fish is obnoxious in the game.
Yeah. This is super obnoxious.
Some of the best random bonuses in the game. Just like doing that can just like out-bully you into death.
He's a good bully character.
Oh, for sure.
But this is another one of your hard 6-4s, though, right? You would say
another hard 6-4, yes.
Yeah.
Another hard matchup.
Yeah. This is a straightforward matchup. It's either you play well and you win, or you mess up once and you're in a bad position and you die.
Yeah.
Right. The rules are simple. Playing too passively means that he's going to throw these out, and if you get hit by any of these, you die. So you're forced to play an offensive game, whether you like it or not. But this range right here is probably your best range overall. This is the range to be in, because even though he can dash through fireballs and stuff, the fireball is still useful in this range because it's too hard to beat it. They would have to not hit buttons, and that you got to be crazy to do that. That's risky because I could not do a fireball and just hit buttons, right? So it would be in a situation that's heavily in your favor. So the matchup's going to be involved mostly around this range. Any closer, and then you're risking throws and getting killed, or being thrown and getting positioned near the corner, which will also get you killed, right?
Right.
And one thing of note: don't ever roll towards this character because you can accidentally get bubbled. Be careful. Don't roll. I do it all the time too. I say that, but like sometimes you gotta risk it.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta go for it.
But it's discouraged. This is in their favor. Do not roll towards this character. This is an easy way to get killed. You're gonna get caught by this, and then they're gonna loop you. Be very careful.
So there's another tip. When you're getting bubbled like that, you can mash out. Believe it or not, people don't know this.
Yeah, you can mash during the bubble state to get out of it quicker. And then the only other tip against bubble is that you can dark force through it, but it's kind of hard. So, like, I would say dark force and buffer and uppercut would be the best thing. Another tip about Fish's bubbles is that if you guard cancel him, if he's trying to pressure you into the bubble, and you hit him, the bubble will no longer be activated. It's not active as long as he gets hit, right? It goes away. So if you guard cancel him in a bubble setup and he's too close to you, you're out. So you have to basically, if you're in a bubble situation, your only opportunities are you dark force out, and you make sure you do it as late as possible. You do not want to do it super early. If you do it too early, you're still gonna get grabbed. You want to do it as late as possible, and that'll clear it. But it's super difficult to do. I'm gonna try to do it. Right there, super hard. Or if they're being super greedy and they're trying to pressure you, you might be able to guard cancel them out of this. That's the best you can hope for. Yeah, super hard matchup. This is another one of those matchups where there are rules to it, and if you don't follow the rules, you will die. That's pretty much most of her bad matchups are like you have to understand the rule set of the matchup, or you're gonna have a hard time. Unless it's a matchup she wins, then you can party.
Alright, let's see what else.
So we went over this one, went over that one and Fish. You want to go over Morrigan? The sister?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go over the sister.
Sure. This matchup's weird because both characters can actually fight each other pretty well. You may not have mix-ups, but she has mix-ups. You have the better dashing, normals, and damage. She has the better throw, better command throw.
She has a usable command throw, yep.
And her fireball's not that bad, not the greatest either.
Yeah, not the best, but not the worst. The problem with it is that it does have long recovery. So, and since your character is good on both ground and super jumping, fireballs are generally going to be discouraged. And air fireball is not that good. Unless it's like EX, in which case then it's kind of slightly annoying. Ground EX fireball is also not that good.
So this is another matchup where you don't want to go for Soul Flash on the ground because she can sweep it free any range.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. All day long. So just be careful of that. That's her counterplay against Lilith.
She wanted to she can't up anything, thankfully. So yeah, this matchup is your character does higher burst damage, so you're encouraged to do actual offense more so than that. Morrigan wants to achieve knockdown to do overhead low mix or command grab mix. So like her mix up potentials are going to be much better. So if she gets started, you'll have a hard time. But she has to navigate past you in neutral, and that's where the problems come in because her dash is not as good as your dash. Your ground dash is going to have better overall utility as far as controlling situations, because all you have to do is do a random dash like this, and you can tag her out of her dash, right? And then that causes an aerial reset, which is much favorable for you, allowing you to rush her down. Or if you win any air-to-air situation, she's going to lose and get rushed down. The only thing to keep in mind is her uppercut is still, you have to worry about uppercut gameplay, right? And you have to also worry about command grabs, because I believe they're invulnerable too, right?
Oh, they're very good.
She has a couple tools to escape like that you have to, like if she does this move, you can't hit her at all out of it until she does a button, which is, you have to know this kind of thing. But, if you block it as an easy guard cancel, you don't have to worry about it too much. And then you have to, I feel like this matchup is you want to tag her out of something and then ride that as much as you can, right? As long as possible. And do and then add TK fireballs to the mix. And then eventually you'll get in a better position and you'll kill her with burst damage, bigger damage than she does. That's the key. Or then you can apply, tick throw game, because she's good at doing tick throws, but she sucks at getting around tick throws as well. But she has an uppercut, so that's her best way to get out. But she can't navigate around that stuff either, since she can't really it's hard for her to maneuver to stay in a good position because of her dash being the way it is. So in order to play Morrigan a little bit better, you have to use walking and normal jump to get in better positions, and not necessarily just dashing around like a crazy person. which is hard for a lot of Morrigan players to accept. So they mostly just dash around and get tagged by random normals, and then that allows Lilith to take over the situation. So this is more so like a tip for Morrigan players. Stop doing this. Start moving around this and using normal jump. Look how far I go. I'm super far away, right? It's a lot easier to control than just dashing all the time, especially against a grounded dash character that has good normal. You're gonna get killed if you do this. So like this is not a hard fight for Lilith whatsoever, but it can snowball if you do bad stuff, right? Like getting tagged by a sweep causes you to lose the possibility of losing a lot of life. And she does have actual real mix-ups where you don't.
Yeah.
But it's probably because of the ability to tag her out of dashes and pressure, and it's probably a 5-5. I would say, right?
It's very even. Like both of these characters can like fight each other for sure. Well,
yeah, they're both like if Morrigan gets knocked down, she can start up, but if Lilith's pressuring her enough, it's hard for Morrigan to move. So, and you do way more damage than she does. The other last bit is that if you don't play well enough and you're at chip range, you will eat this move. You're going to have to block this. There's not much you can do about it. You can't stop this from happening. It's pretty much a guaranteed chip damage scenario, and you're pretty much screwed. But yeah, Lilith pressure is good in this matchup. Works very well. There's not much you can do to stop it. Like she can try to uppercut, but it's not really going to do too much. Especially if you're around this range. If you get uppercuts to whiff all day. Yeah, this is one of those matches where you just bully and do the ground pressure, tag her out of stuff, and then just ride your pressure game to victory. Right? 5-5 matchup, only if she gets a knockdown. If she doesn't get any knockdown, you're in a heavily advantage. So that's more on the Morrigan player to outplay the Lilith player. All right, I think that's pretty much it for that matchup, right?
Yeah, you got the key points.
Cool.
We can move on.
Almost done, man. Almost done.
We're almost there, guys.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to the mirror.
Oh god, something I don't like fighting.
Everyone hates their mirror. If you play this game and you play your mirror, we all hate our mirrors. I have not met one person that likes their mirror match.
It's definitely a matchup where it just snowball like crazy because both of you don't have that much health in the game. Do obscene amounts of damage.
Mm-hmm.
You're one bad push block attempt away of just gaining confirmance on ally.
Yeah, you're
gonna are really good.
Mm-hmm.
She has trouble anti-ing herself sometimes because of super jump. Sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that being the thing.
And overall, it's the matchup where you gotta dictate your pace first. Whoever can dictate that pace first can win this mirror quickly.
Yeah, I feel like it's a burst damage matchup. She's not very good at fighting herself, and she can't deal with her own pressure, which is very common in a lot of mirror matches. Your characters can't fight each other. Your character is very, very, very good. And well developed, so you can't fight yourself very well. All your mirror matches are 6-4.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, so you're gonna have a lot of hard time dealing with your own pressure. And if the other Lilith player doesn't know how to get around their own pressure, you're going to lose. I believe your slide can go under this, as with all the slides, so you at least have that. So that's one thing to keep in mind with the corner pressure game. Otherwise, this matchup is just heavily going to be who's controlling the pace and who gets a knockdown from a DP and who's getting who in the corner, right? As with all mirror matches this game, you won't have fun fighting your own character. That's for sure. Whoever's doing more offense or can do LI has the advantage. If you can't do LI, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Yep, mirror match is stuck in this game. I don't even want to discuss the Anakaris mirror match. It pisses me off. That's pretty much it for the matchup, I would say, right? It's pretty straightforward. It's hard, but the random thing to know is that you can hit her out of the firewall attempt as long as you're on point, right? And
it's definitely a knowledge check for little key points like that, on top of who can outburst each other first.
Yeah. Yeah, this is straightforward of the mirror matches, but you do a lot of damage, so they probably don't like fighting each other.
No, like they bleed.
Yeah, making mistakes is bad in this fight. All right, I'll move on. This is a really straightforward mirror match. It's not too tricky. It's just you won't like fighting yourself. Okay. Let's move on to Big Jedah.
Oh, Jedah. Okay. Yeah, some of the fastest jumps in the game because of how high he jumps.
This is annoying.
That itself. That actually beats out your TK Soul Flash sometimes.
Yeah, so the thing is, he's got that old school like Bison and Bison jump like arc is really high and really annoying. And although he has a massive hurt boxes on a lot of his normals, they come at a decent speed, right? So like if Jedah were to attack first, you're probably gonna lose that game. So the key thing to know is that, ironically enough, and I wish my character could do this, but moving towards him is preferable because even though he's got like air dash stuff, if he's just gonna jump in the air, you can kind of like outmaneuver him, right? Moving towards him is probably more preferred than staying still, because if you stay still, this air to ground is really, really annoying to deal with. It's really hard to hit him around it, although you do have an uppercut. How do you deal with the air dash stuff?
Oh, that's where if you mistime Soul Flash, he can actually glide right past it if he can aim.
Okay, so like it'll be like a situation where you do like a really low to the ground, like Soul Flash, like right here,
like
and then he just kind of
glide right past. Yeah,
he just glides right over it. Yeah, I can see that happening. Oops, don't need to go over that yet. Yeah, so the key to the matchup really is you want to make sure you go on to win these air-to-air exchanges. You will be using Soul Flash, but you have to change the trajectory to mix it up, so that way they don't be like, who's just going to TK? I'm going to go right over it and get you. And even then, you have to be careful because like he could just throw a wheel at any time, right? He can air dash, throw wheels and stuff, and you could probably get hit out of your Soul Flash. So you're not aiming them properly, or if you're not going in to check him for doing wheels, right? This is a matchup where you're gonna have to choose whether you want to go in on him and prevent him from doing wheel or trying to start mount offense, or you have to do like a Soul Flash at the correct time, right? Otherwise, you get steamrolled, right? Kind of mixing up between the two. The good news though is that he's very tall, right? So like if he's on the ground, he's heavily at a disadvantage because he doesn't really have that good of an anti-air. Like his best anti-air is crouching medium kick, in which case he can aim this and make that really annoying. But you got a super jump, so he has to make sure to move, right? So he's actually very fairly weak on the ground, and his dashing game, although good, is annoying normals like dashing medium punch and stuff. He has the same problem as Morrigan, so it's like if he's on the ground, you're at the advantage. It's only when he hits to the air that he becomes annoying. So you have to know how to like move your character and kind of anti-air him in that regard, or move with him, right? And even then, that's kind of hard because he jumps so high. It's kind of annoying. So you're gonna have to add like a lot of neutral jumps to your game, right? And change the angle of your Soul Flash, right? In order to win on the exchanges. But again, high burst damage is a key point in this matchup, right? And he, although he's very good once he's in the air, he's kind of slow at getting up there too. So like as long as you're pressuring him, he's fairly easy to pressure in the corner. And he doesn't have much in the case of tool sets besides like trying to sneak in one of these with like a jab and the EX, to kind of win on a situation, right? Randomly, where he's going to be threatening in the corner. How do you feel about? Is there any way for you to stop this move? You know,
So,
is it just
honestly,
DP?
it's such a reaction check because if that comes out, you got to be prepared
Yeah, you're just gonna,
beat DP.
yeah.
There's no other way.
Is that the case even with the punch follow up? Or
I think so too.
yeah, because I do know the punch follow up super annoying and slow. What else is he gonna do in this matchup? Be aware that the air dash has a hitbox on it, so like be careful when you're trying to hit him. Make sure you're not above him, because it'll hit you and you get knocked down. You could be a real bully in this matchup if you can keep pressure on him, because he's not going to be able to get away from you very well, and tick throws are very good against him. And his ground normals aren't the best. If you're jumping in, be careful. He's got this, and he's got jab, and his jab's super fast. It's like the fastest jab in the game. So he hits this a lot. This is like one of those weird anti-airs where he's the king of stand jab because of how tall he is. But you're very good at bullying him. So the key point is to get him knocked down and get him to the corner as best you can. But it's very hard to do when he's on neutral. Very hard to keep this character pinned for very long. And then the last thing is the Dark Force, which is very difficult to beat depending on the character, right? And Lilith's no exception to this. She doesn't have the tool to reach him up here. See, she can't hit him on the startup. So what you have to do is you have to air chain him back down. In which case the character doesn't have a jump, so he can't really get away, right? And then you have to use pressure, in which case the Jedah player has to use push blocks and or guard cancels to get out of this. So this is actually bad in that regard once you get them in that situation. But the problem is, you know, timing that jump to bring them back to the ground. Or like another thing you could do is you could, I don't know if this is possible, let me try it, but you might be able to air throw him as well. And that's probably the best case scenario. You just kind of jump up there, time and air throw. So like, yeah, a lot of the anti Dark Force stuff is going to be like you time an air throw, get him back down on the ground, and then pressure him as best as you can. Keep him on the ground. So like, this is like one of his main win conditions, but it has a flaw, and that flaw is that he can't jump. He loses the ability to jump. Also, he can't build meter in the state, so which is another problem with the character. He is not very good at building meter because he can't Kara cancel anything. So he has to kick your ass to build meter. So he has to either play super offensive or he has to play really good defensively in order to build bar. And he doesn't have any knockdowns, so he has to force his offense on you. So as long as you're paying attention or you're greedy, matching on them, right, you can win out in some situations and sneak in some pressure that way. But the hard part in this matchup is the neutral. The neutral is the hardest part of the matchup. Would you say? Is that the case there?
Yeah, because you can't jump in on Jedah blindly because he has really good anti-airs. You can't blindly shoot TK Soul Flash because of the glide on top of his high jump speed. And you gotta like vary all your TK Fireball timings just to even catch him sometimes because of how slippery he gets.
I also believe that if you TK improperly, he can punish you with that.
Oh, those are hard callouts for his punish. So yes, you can't blindly just like TK a neutral sometimes.
Yeah. So like overall, like it's an annoying matchup, but it's like, would you like whose favor would you say it's in? Like,
it still might favor Jedah because of his potential pressure is a lot better than Lilith in this case.
Yeah. I would say so just because it's just annoying to just stop him from doing neutral stuff, right? Like, although you have good tools at getting him to stop, you have to play around what he's gonna do, and that's kind of hard. And he can just kind of react to what you're gonna do, or at least attempt to react, right? Now again, Jedah, the Jedah player misses. It's bad for him, right? It's not to say like it's not to say that he absolutely dominates his matchup or anything like that. I'm not saying that. It's just that it's kind of annoying sometimes to hit the character, right? And that annoyance is all he needs to kind of carry momentum, and then he'll steamroll you with momentum when you're not paying attention, right?
Yeah, he builds a lot of white damage, so
yeah,
he'll catch you.
Yeah, definitely. Like he annoys you, and then you're like, I need to try to, and then he's already on top of you doing like 1,000 mix-ups on your face, right? So like, if the Jedah player is playing really well and is able to anti-air you, and you're having a tough time hitting him on neutral, you're gonna have a bad time in this matchup. But if you're able to hit him at all, causing like any jab, like any time you hit him out should lead to a pressure, and as long as you can keep pressuring him, he has a bad time. And that's the best way to play the matchup. And then just when he does this, attempt to do an air throw or string him down, do strings to get him back to the ground and then try to apply pressure. This is basically you have to do pressure, but if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get hit. And when you're getting hit, he's gonna use that as an opportunity to do offense, and then you can just die really quickly. It snowballs really quick. So it's 5.5 in his favor, maybe at best.
For sure.
Debatable though, because like it could go either way. It swings in either way. All right, moving on. I think that's pretty much it for that matchup.
Let's see.
It's just annoying. All right, we're on the left side now, except for Anakaris. We went over that guy. He sucks. Let's go over Kitty Cat.
Oh, this is some of the hardest matchups for Lilith. Only because of how the sheer speed and how superior cat normals are, both anti-air wise, air-to-air wise, and just combo wise. She does it all. This character will fuck you up all day long.
Yeah.
So you don't even try to bother anti-airing this character sometimes.
Yeah, so her jump speed is very difficult to anti-air. The good news is she doesn't have a cross-up, so like if they're jumping too much, at least towards you, you can walk under them and get the anti-air that way. Since your anti-airs are very limited due to speed, I would say like walk under crouching medium punch would be the best way to anti-air. If you're at this range, you can obviously do uppercuts. From specific distances, you can use medium punch to beat out stuff, but it's definitely discouraged. I would use crouching medium punch instead most of the time. This is like a heavily crouching medium punch match, and only if you know the spacing, right? As long as you're like around the max range of jumping medium kick, you can anti-air this character pretty decently. If you're right here, you have to uppercut, or if you're right here, you have to walk under, and that's assuming that they didn't neutral jump, because that's a whole another like problem in itself, right? Beating neutral jump is one of the most annoying things with this character. Because like sometimes you're just doing your pressure and then oops, a neutral jump and then you just get hit, right? As Diar stated, it's very difficult for you to land a jump in. The reason why is because standing a light kick is too good. Look at it.
And look at that speed. Just
look at the speed and it's got a huge red active box. Like, and you can just mash it, even if it's like a little bit of active frames, you just mash the hell out of it. It may as well just be there permanently. And then she has other anti-airs to rely on. She has crouching medium punch. Sometimes you can use crouch heavy, but that one's air blockable, but it's still got a good hitbox on it. And then close roundhouse is another normal, and she's very good at using all of those things. And sometimes she lands on top of you, and weird stuff happens, and then she can overhead you off of that. So it's very difficult to deal with as long as she's moving around. The keys, I think, to the matchup, you will be using Soul Flash, but again, like she has rolls, and rolls go under Soul Flash, right? But she might accidentally get hit, right? So you have to like it's still useful, mostly if they're being like very jumpy, I would say. Another thing of note is if you can get the jump into the whiff, you just use the ground normal immediately, right? And make sure that you can get her to block, right? Because she still has the landing frame recovery that you have to deal with, right? So you can sneak in normals that way, right? So although her jumping's good, you can kind of sneak in like random pokes that way. Overall, this is a matchup where you have to win on the pressure. You have to win pressure, or you have to be able to anti-air at all times, and that's very difficult to do. Do you have anything else for this matchup?
So another good tip, so you can't go through ground fireball pressures. She's also another one where she can sweep under those.
Is she? Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so you can't go for stuff like that, so it's super dangerous.
Yeah, it has to be like this close, and that's the only way.
There's that.
It's like you can beat it on startup, but if you're like on neutral, then yes, you're gonna get beat up.
And when you're blocking against Felicia, it's a little hard to guard cancel sometimes, because she can easily bait them if you're not too careful. She has pretty good block strings that can bait your guard cancel action in this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to probably be like something like max range, crouch medium kick, or like crouch jab, which is massively plus.
Or just like guard cancel the sweep, stuff like that. Like you just like guard cancel by accident, and they could just like punish you on the way down.
The main thing to be careful though is that you do really high burst damage with 1 bar, but she does really high burst damage with 1 bar as well with Dark Force. But if you attack her out of the Dark Force and get her timer down, she's susceptible to getting killed. So basically, like she could do 80%, but you could do 100%. So that's what she has to worry about in this matchup. So although it's good for her on her end, she risks dying if you accidentally, win the exchange. Right? She can die from this. So it's a good tool, but that player better be like on point, or they're gonna get killed. Right?
Right.
Otherwise, Kitty Helper's annoying. It's very, very strong. You can do a lot of stuff with it. A lot of like variable offense that leads into loop combos that I don't know how to do, which we'll get into maybe one day with another tutorial. Let's see. I think one of the best things to do as far as like offense is concerned in the matchup is just always either maintain this distance and kind of do offense in that manner, or just backdash away and then try to strike her, right? Because she
can have points where you can hit her out of her dash too. Sometimes it's one of those matchups again.
Oh yeah, you have the ability to do this.
Stuff like that.
I would say medium kick would be better in this matchup actually, or even medium punch. Like I think pretty much all your buttons would be good in this matchup. Because like her buttons, although they're good, right? They're not like they're good at starting up stuff, but like medium punch, although it's good, it's a combo starter and it doesn't have much range, so you can stuff that out a lot, right? Which leaves like only roundhouse and medium kick as her key get-in tools, and as long as you're hitting buttons all the time, those shouldn't slip through. But I would say like medium kick would be the best button overall to dealing with this. Yeah, I think this matchup's pretty difficult. Doesn't she have that stuff where like she gets stuck in the air too?
Oh, like, she has cat guard. Yeah, sometimes where she actually gets stuck. Sometimes.
I don't know how that happens actually. I think it involves a projectile, right? Yeah, it involves your projectile.
Yeah, that's cat guard right there.
Yeah, that's cat guard. This is privilege.
Oh, what is that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is privilege at its finest right here. So yeah, you can't like if you have like any fireball on the screen, she has the ability to just block everything. It's really stupid. So like if you're trying to air to air, they can just block everything, and there's not much you can do to stop it. So air throws are going to be like one of your go-tos, I would say, in the matchup. This is another one of the matchups where you just have to win the pressure and then do what you can. And then I would say like if they have a bar, don't dash it with medium punch as much, because then they might be able to slip in a poke and you can get killed. Do like light kicks instead, like light normals. That way you can at least protect yourself. Because then like one of the more popular tactics is that they like to do Dark Force activate into command grabs and shit like that. This gives you time to walk away, right? You can like walk away and then meet them with a fireball. So it'll be like something like this. That would be like ideal. So you want to drain that Dark Force timer, at least make it threatening, to where they screwed up. Fighting around Dark Force is like the main thing in this matchup. If you can keep your cool on the Dark Force, you might be able to just kill her outright. But the neutral is the hardest part of the matchup. This is gonna annoy you. This is a very annoying matchup, like with all jumping characters. It happens to you too? I don't know. Yeah, that character is fucked up.
She does it all, Mar. She does it all.
Buggy ass character.
Like neutral jump, fierce punch.
That's it. Yeah. Look at that shit.
Oh.
Yeah. That's fun. Look at this curse interaction. This character is bullshit. And I don't care what all the Felicia mains say. This character is fucking top 5.
She's good. She's real good.
Tired of her fucking ridiculous downplaying. They downplayed her for so long. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this matchup. You have to be able to anti-air. I would say movement is going to be very important. You want to do fireballs, but be careful with them because she could just dancing flash through or do EX rolling buckler. You're going to have a hard time to deal with that. But you want to win as many exchanges as you can. Any air exchanges, you want to air throw her, get pressure because your pressure's good and you do high burst damage and she can't trade with you, right? You want to force these kind of situations, hit her in the corner, and then you have to learn how to play around the Dark Horse. If you think they're going to Dark Horse, do weaker stuff and then add a fireball to it, so that way you can make them at least block something. And then if they lose out on the timer, then you can kill them with a free combo. She taunts. I think that's pretty much it for the matchup. It's hard, but it's 6-4, I think, still.
Oh, sometimes it feels like 7-3 at times.
Yeah.
On the player.
Yeah, it can feel like that, but it's probably still 6-4. I think it's 6-4. Yeah. Let's see. We're almost done. Down to like the final 3, right?
Yeah.
No, we got 4. 4 more characters left. Forgot Bishamon. Let's do BB Hood.
Oh, this is a tough one. Bulleta easily can bully Lilith because her dashing medium punch alone, can net her into command throw attempts, to more pressure, push you in a corner. On top of Bulleta's just jumping medium punch button in general just like destroys you. So you got to be careful for stuff like that.
Yep.
Her normals are just that much better.
Yeah, Vicky, you missed out on the Zabel matchup. We determined that it's a hard 6-4. She has tools to stop you from getting in, but you have a lot of tools on neutral to kind of counteract that on the ground game. But her burst damage is really strong in the matchup. So it's a hard 6-4. It's in Zabel's favor, but you can get steamrolled accidentally if you run if you try to challenge her too much for the burst damage. That's what we felt like in that. Speaking of this matchup, though, yeah. So yeah, Bulleta dashing strong is super good. It's plus. Going to lead to a lot of situations. She can just do command grabs off of it. She can loop her pressure. The good news is you can duck under the jab, which means that she can't do her strongest pressure tool, but she can do crouch jab, dashing medium punch, or crouching light into dashing medium punch, which is going to allow her to extend her pressure just a little bit, right?
Right.
The key problems in the matchup is just jumping medium punch is fucking annoying. This normal's kind of really, really good.
So good. Some of the best in the game.
It's super strong, especially from around this range. They can just does it instant overhead you too? Or because it does on me.
Wait, does it?
It does on my matchup.
Oh, good. Oh, I can duck that. Good.
Oh, thank you for being able to duck under this, because that means that you can just duck and then really delay an uppercut. And you should be fine. If they're hitting buttons, then you can do that. That's the way you can anti-air her pretty easily and consistently. You just want to duck for a really long time, and then but she can just delay slightly and then hit you. So you got to be careful. Which case you do is correct medium punch for that. So it's kind of did I wait long enough to sneak in this uppercut, or am I going to attempt to do crouching medium punch to beat that out, right? And then you have to also worry about what if they jumped over me and did jump medium kick, right? In which case you'll get hit in that situation. It's kind of weird. The interactions around this range are hard. And then to top it off, she has a double jump, so you can attempt to try to hit her, and then oops, I double jumped. So weird stuff can happen. And then it's also very difficult to chase after this character too, because of the double jump. She can kind of just get super high in the air, and you'll probably get tagged by that jump medium punch. Or even if you're trying to get her in a chicken guard situation, this jumping medium punch always tags you for whatever reason. There's something about it, right?
Yeah.
It's super. It's one of the best overall chicken guard normals in the game.
Oh, easily. I do know
So like she has 2 different fireballs. So like one of them you can use slide to get under and kind of punish it. So they don't really do that. They're just use the low fireball. So it's like a guessing game, but most of the time they use their fireballs for anti-airs anyway, right? So you're not really like navigating around it. Her other spectrum moves are not the best, right? Like you saw the hitbox on the EX one, which is okay, but it's only going to hit like it sometimes doesn't hit all the hits, and it's kind of weird. And the other versions are kind of not very good. So she mostly just runs around doing missiles all the time. So she only really has like one special move to worry about, right? The main thing is that the floor is hot lava, and you don't want to be the one blocking, but you both do the kind of the similar game plan where you want them to block your stuff, right?
Because of that, this matchup's easily a timeout, time overs, because both characters have a hard time even confirming our stuff, because we can't hit each other. We have the same game plan, and we're just trying to out-neutral each other. And that's like what this matchup boils down to.
Sounds like a fun matchup.
I
know like it's hard, but I like these neutral-based kind of matchups a lot more than the oops, I'm gonna derp on your face, right? Yeah. I would say like basically the main range to worry about is right around here where she can just dash your medium punch through. If you don't already have a poke out, you're probably gonna lose that blow situation, right? In which case you want to have a fireball out already so that it discourages the dashing a little bit. She doesn't have much tools to get past that, besides just like doing like EX fireball to beat that, and even then, you might have recovered in time. Let's check that interaction real quick. Oops, I'm not getting it. Playing on this really weird pad that I can only use the analog on, so it's hard for. Okay, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And I think that's only achievable with the EX fireball because I think the other fireballs are too slow or have too slow startup.
It just plows through everything. You're not being a missile.
Yeah. But yeah, both of these characters have the same game plan, similar runaway tactics and stuff like that. You have a super jump, she has a double jump. So it's all about like choosing when to intercept the double jump, right? Or being in a good range to stop her from coming in. But it's kind of hard because she can like speed blitz you with a jumping medium punch really quickly, right?
Right.
Like, if she's jumping on top of you, you're not moving, you're probably going to have a really bad time. So basically around here, you want to do pokes, fireball, and then move. Because if you don't want to get caught in a situation where you have to block something like that. Because if you do block this, then you're going to have to deal with, like, potential hits, like, block, stop, unblockable. Right? But you do more damage than she does. Like, potentially she could do big damage, but it's hard. You got to be godlike.
Very, very hard.
And there's not many of those. There's not many of those. So you got about like approximately like maybe 1 or 2 people who could do that in NA right now, right? So it's very uncommon for this character to out damage you. It's possible to do it, but very uncommon. This is like a very straightforward matchup. Both of you do the same game plan, and the first person to start probably going to end up winning out. And the player with better ground game control or air-to-air game is going to win out. So in that case, would you say that this is like whose favorite would it be in then?
It's still going to be Bulleta's favorite because of normals alone and the block pressure into command throw mix-up.
Mm-hmm.
That alone can just net you so many games. Because she has options like this, you just gotta deal with it, and it's still in her favor.
Okay. So you would just put it at like a 5.5 then, right?
It's a 5.5 to 6 sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Depending on the player's skill.
Right.
So like overall, like generically, I would say it would probably be 5.5 unless you're fighting like a super top level Bulleta. Then it slightly shifts in her favor. I think that's pretty much it for this matchup. I think there's not too much she generally only uses those tools. The other tools are kind of situational. You got grandma, super, and shit, which can be used, but it's got slight invul, but whatever. It's not too much of a pain to deal with, right?
Right.
And does that even go through Fireball? I don't even think it does.
You should try it. I want to see this.
It kind of did, but it kind of didn't because the EX one lasts forever. So, I don't think it's gonna work against EX. but it'll work
No.
against like maybe a light sometimes.
Okay.
And then the other supers are not like who cares about this? Like I don't even care when I get hit by that shit. Like I think it's a waste of meter, personally.
Hey, that does okay damage.
It does okay damage, but like most of the time this happens and you got nothing.
Okay.
That's my argument against it.
Okay, sure.
Whereas you could have saved that bar to do EX command grab, which is not going to do as much damage, but you can consistently hit this all the time, right? And I don't think she has any like Apple for you is fucking garbage.
Oh, you don't really use it. You're just best off saving meter for missiles and command throws in this matchup.
Yeah. I mean, that's what she generally does. Like you're only using this and command grab. Let's move on to the next one. I think that's pretty much it. Her Dark Force sucks too.
Yeah.
And her Guard Cancel sucks. Alright, final three. Let's do Bishamon first. He's probably the more important one.
This one's hard because what do you have at your advantage? Luckily, Bishamon cannot loop the spirit unblockable on you because you can duck it. Thank goodness.
Can he still do the floor mat one?
Yes, he can actually do that instead, I think.
Let's see.
It's weird.
I don't know if he can. Doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
I don't think any of them block. Like, so like I think I know that he can technically do the unblockable on you, only if you're standing though, which never happens, right? See right there.
Yeah. Like you're always
but because you're always crouching, it never works, so he can't do it.
Okay.
And the floor mat unblockable doesn't work at all in this matchup,
Okay.
so he really doesn't win because of unblockables. But like I think if it hits and you time it, you still get looped.
Oh, I see.
Is what happens.
You stand up, standing. I see.
Yeah, you get up standing. Or I think that's what happens to all the characters. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, like it's not gonna happen. It's too hard in this matchup. Most of the time, Bishamon's not gonna use that. But what he is gonna do is he's gonna hit a ton of buttons that are annoying to get around.
They're very good. It stuffs you out. He has great normals to just stop your jump ins.
Yeah, he's got standing heavy punch, gonna beat a lot of your super jump stuff. Far range forward heavy punch. He's got this, which leads into really good damage if he's got a bar. He'll just do EX pursuit.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, and Bishamon is one of the characters who actually can match your damage. So
yeah, he can really.
He has a lot of damage. He does tons of damage. He hits like a truck. So, and he has a command grab, which you don't. So, and his pressure is on par with yours. He's got really strong dash pressure.
It might be even better, personally.
Yeah, he's got that. Well, definitely technically can be better because he actually has a command grab and you don't. So, like he has active mixes. But the big issue is that Bishamon players like to use the fireball and they can't use it. So it's kind of hard for them to be like, change their game plan up to not doing that fireball because then they have to just rely on this for their primary source of damage, right? So because of your immunity to that, your burst damage is generally going to be slightly higher. And another flaw that Bishamon has in this matchup is that he's tall, right? So he's susceptible to the dashing infinite block string. Now he got the guard cancel and it's very good. It's unblockable even if he has bar, but you can bully him pretty easily. Is what I'm saying for this matchup, right? So like your ability to bully him is just about as good, if not slightly better, in the matchup. But winning out on the neutral exchange is kind of hard. His buttons are just a little bit too better than yours. Look at that.
You're fighting a guy with a sword. Come on, man. You're not.
He has a damn sword, so he's got better buttons than you do on neutral. So he definitely out neutrals you. Because he out neutrals you, this matchup's definitely hard. It's probably 6-4 in Bishamon's favor for sure.
Yeah, it's still in his favor. Even though without the loop, he has better damage, and he can just like outpoke you with just normals alone.
Yep. The fact that he has really good normals, bigger damage out, like on par damage output, I would say. It's definitely similar. And just he's just kind of cheap, man. It's a cheap character. It's a cheap character that nobody uses. 6'4" for sure. But like, let's go over some other like unique tools. So you don't have to worry about any unblockable stuff that he generally does. The only thing you have to worry about is dashing, pressure tools, and him going into command grab. He has an overhead off a backdash, medium kick, and a heavy kick that he'll use to end rounds with. Damage output's very high. Frame traps are good, so you need to be careful when trying to engage. Your uppercut's going to be useful, but you got to be careful. Right? You can bait those out very easily. Punish you very hard.
Yeah.
Neutral wise, it's very difficult. But if you make him miss, you can make him pay if he's being a little too greedy with heavier normals. He's not good at getting out of your pressure. Your fireball pressure is good. He's susceptible to eating all the trade stuff. But he's also a good trade character as well. Like if you trade with him, let's say you're doing like medium punches or something, and he trades with this jab, then you can just combo with the EX Fireball or whip punish you with that. So you have to be careful. He's very good at trading. His Dark Force has armor. He has armor. He's armored up. So now you have to deal with his neutral. At least for a little. Neutral ended. It's over. He doesn't care anymore. So he's just going to come in. The thing about this Dark Force, though, is that it's susceptible to knockdown attacks. You can just sweep him. And, yeah, he could be thrown. I don't think there's anything else, really. Generally, I think your character's a little better in the air-to-air department because your buttons are just a little bit faster. Right? You could just tag him. So he's not really jumping in this matchup. Unless you're on the ground, then you can force to jump in from this range. He likes to jump in from this range, mostly. You don't have to worry about a DP because he doesn't have it unless he's jumping. He has to jump, then land, and then do a DP. The worst DP. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it with this matchup. It's kind of you both want to do the same game plan kind of thing again, right? But you're terrible at getting into that range, and he's good at it, right?
He's very good at getting close.
Yeah, so this is definitely a harder matchup. It's kind of like the Bulleta matchup, but you can't get in on the character. So I think it's harder. And unlike Bulleta, he hits like a Mack truck. So, yeah, this is a harder matchup. This is definitely hard. This is a hard 6-4. Is that how you feel about it too, there?
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard because the tides can turn so fast if he can get like random air slash in the air, and so it chops.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he gets like a lucky stand confirm into a spirit, that's mad damage too.
Yeah.
On top of just overall his just poking game, he can out poke you. It sucks. So you got to be careful for that.
Yeah.
And the only options you have as Lilith, really, your stand medium kick's really good. If he's just mindlessly rushing at you, that sometimes stops him. Sometimes. It's a little weird. And
yeah, it makes
sometimes like going for max distance crouching Fierce Punch for Lilith, that can sometimes stop him too. Sometimes. But his jab just beats me out like that, yo.
Yeah, his jab's really good. Look at it, it's all red, dude.
Oh my god.
Character is super good, and no one plays him. So
he's too hard. To be fair, he's actually a really hard character.
Yeah, I don't care. People just still play him. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Character's good. This matchup blows. Case closed. Okay, moving on to the next one. Come on, game. Let me buttons acting up. There it goes. 2 more, man.
We're almost there.
I'll save him for last.
Okay, sure.
Let's go. Let's go to the head. This is a rare matchup too, by the way.
So the Victor matchup, I feel like it's in Liz's favor because she can actually bully this character. He's tall. Your normals are fast. You can go for tick throws against him all day. What do you have to worry about? Victor's anti-airs are actually pretty good here against Lilith if you're not too careful.
Yeah, he's got those Mortal Kombat uppercuts.
They're really good against this matchup, so be careful. because you're such a skinny character, you can crouch under his lariat, so you have stuff like that against him.
Like oh, he can't even. Yeah, he can't even do his frame trap.
Yeah, so you can't do stuff like that against
him. He has no frame trap.
Yeah, so because of that alone, crouching against this character, you're at an advantage. It's in your favor.
You can crouch under the heavy punch. So yeah, his as you can see, since he can't do some of his key normals are like dashing light punch and heavy punches and stuff like that. He can't even use them in the matchup. They get ducked under. So he kind of he can't even use the lariat because normally he would use EX lariat to get plus frames because this is plus on block. He can't do it. Doesn't work. He's gonna eat an LI for doing it. He dies. So he loses a special move. So all he can do is just do uppercuts. This is all and this uppercut's very annoying, by the way.
That's good.
Like, it's a good uppercut. But this is all he does. And that's not enough. And since he can't use his normals to bully you, for the most part, he has to use like far light kick. Because if you look, close light kick whiffs. So both your close normals they don't work. So he has to use crouching normals. So he has to be really far away. This is the only way he can do gameplay. But again, he can't do this. So he has to do uppercuts, and that whiffs from that range. He has a lot of problems pressuring your character. And if you screw up, you die. So he in order for him to win, he has to change his game plan to just getting random pokes and being oppressive with his jumping normals. That's how he wins.
That's really good. His jumping fierce, he'll tag you out a lot.
He has good brawler, like big buttons and stuff like that. So this is how he's going to have to play the matchup. He has to just brawl you to death. And that's all well and good, but you do high burst damage, so that doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
If he makes a mistake, he's done. And as soon as you get him in a lockdown, he can't really do much about it. He's just basically stuck. So in order for the Victor player to win, he has to play incredibly defensive, get the hits that he needs, and then brawl you to death with a lot of throws in play. That's the best way they're going to win. They're going to try to out-neutral you using mostly medium punches or hitting you out of like every jump-in attempt that you do, and then just brawl with you, and then try to force like shenanigans with like DPs and stuff like that, like we're doing double DP or DP into like supers and stuff like that. You have to be careful for those kind of shenanigans. But his close game is not good. It's non-existent. He has no way to doing any combos on you. So all he could do is just do chains. Which is good damage, by the way. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's really good.
His damage output on chains is very high, so it's not the worst. Because he could do like really long extended combos and stuff like that. But it's hard for you to get started.
Yeah, that's your advantage. Your crouching state.
And there's not really too much to worry about in the matchup, like overall, because it's he's got some weird stuff like he could do like big fist and stuff like that, but that's massively punishable. He's got this thing, but that's massively punishable on block and is a gimmick and it doesn't do anything and it's blockable. So all he can do is brawl and do command grabs and hope for the best. Victor at his best, he wants to turtle in his matchup if possible. The one thing that's annoying about the character is he's got a huge health pool to play around with, so you can take hits, right? He kind of lasts for a little while, but since he can't get out of generic pressure, and I think you only need like 2 sequences to kill him, it doesn't matter, right?
Right. It's easy to kill Victor.
Yeah. As a little player, you need to be careful about this jumping heavy punch. This shit is annoying. Right. This is like the normal that you have to worry about. It's very difficult to anti everything.
Don't even bother. That thing's always gonna win.
Just dash under it. I would just do a dashing jab and then just jab twice if he's jumping toward you like that. Just mash on him. Because he can't duck under your jab anyway, but he's just basically stuck. Right? As soon as he lands, he's screwed. And just go in, right? Don't even bother trying to beat this thing. Like, I can even try an uppercut. Most of the time, it's going to lose because it'll trade at best, right? So you're just going to lose health. It's best to just move or do TK Fireball and have that deal with it, right? Yeah, overall, this matchup is just you want to get him in a position where you can bully him to death, and he can't do much about it. And his Dark Forces are weird. One of them just has grabs. he taunts after both of his Dark Forces, so he gets killed if he does it, and he doesn't really use it anyway. His meter's just better spent on trying to land 720s. And the other one just electrifies your normal. It's not. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah. He doesn't really do anything. Kind of just plays defensively and hopes for the best and tries to ball with you. In which case, if you're impatient, you probably will lose, right?
Right. Because he can answer well, and he actually does damage. So
he can hurt you, but he loses the bullying, and Lilith is very good at that. And you're one air to winning. So that's pretty much on that matchup. It's pretty straightforward. All right, on to the final matchup, I think.
Final matchup, Demitri.
That's Demitri. All right, so this character is annoying. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, right?
He has amazing anti-air abilities against this matchup. Standing medium kick.
Yep.
Crouching roundhouse, anti-airs.
Yep.
You got Demon Cradle, best DP in the game.
Best DP.
And sometimes standing jab, sometimes, but not really.
Yeah, he can sometimes. That's great.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. So this character, the way he works is, every other character tries to rush each other down and do mix. This character does the opposite. He slows you down and makes you frustrated, and you can't really get in. And he controls the pace of the match. He controls the screen. The screen is his. He dominates the screen. He's got a dash that has invul frames in the middle of it, so he can kind of like, when you're trying to poke, he can just uppercut you or EX fireball you in between. And you're going to lose a lot of life, right? His jump-ins are good.
Oh my god.
Jump-ins are annoying. His normals are decent. He's really good. His uppercut changes trajectories. He's got, back dash uppercut super good. Forward dash uppercut super good. All of his uppercuts are super good. And all of his uppercuts are difficult to punish.
That's in the game.
Yeah, it's hard to punish this. There's a one-frame landing recovery.
So instead of going for one-frame land recovery, while he's in the air, just go for a normal.
Can you do LI instead? Like just immediate
yes,
LI?
Yes, you can. Yes, when you're blocking it, you can just go for LI.
Like just buffer LI in there?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can just do it with hard cap. I got him bad at it. I'm holding two controllers, so it's super hard. But yeah, if you say it, then I'll believe it. What was the other punish you said? Is it
like,
sweep?
When you're blocking Demon Cradle, just go for a quick normal, like a stand medium kick, stand fierce punch, stuff like that. Instead of just banking on landing recovery, hit him when you're blocking it. Just go for the easier punish in this case. And just hit.
Yeah, this thing is very difficult to punish, and it's got some funky stuff. Like he could do like his EXDP, he could just do that, and like let's say you're standing, you'll block a couple more attacks, but sometimes you're just not paying attention, and he'll just do like two of them back to back, like right here, stupid. And you'll just get hit. Yo, what up, Jalen?
Yeah, what's up, Jalen?
No, it's J-Money, the boy.
Oh.
Yeah, EXDP is fucking annoying. This thing is bullshit. Basically, variable block stun based on if you're standing or crouching. Sometimes you're just gonna get hit. He'll do two of them back to back like a dick, and you're probably gonna fall for it. Matchup wise, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do because you want to try to approach him, but his anti-airs are too good, right? And it's really hard to beat the dash game. So what do you do? What do you recommend?
It's a matchup where you have to slowly walk and block and create a wall of TK soul flashes.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to discourage him from moving at you. So it becomes a really timeout-like match where we're trying to hit each other with straight hits, not so much go for confirms, because we all played against Pockets. He knows how to play this character. And it's hard enough as is just to even hit him at times. And we gotta bank on straight hits, block, throws. There's moments where sure you might get a jump in luckily.
Yeah, a little piece like something like this, right?
Stuff like that. Get lucky. Mostly throws, fireball. and just straight hits. That's how you win this matchup, and that's very hard to do.
So yeah, I can kind of give a glimpse of how that would look like. So basically, what you're saying is you want to like pretty much neutral as best as you can, trying to avoid the dashing DP range, right? Just move around, get your hits where you can. You're going to be banking on single hit kind of scenarios, and at best trying to get a favorable situation where you could punish, right?
Yeah,
like, sort of like moving like this, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes this matchup incredibly difficult because like Dimitri's like the king of doing that. So it's definitely a little more in his favor for trying to do that, right? The Demitri player is going to be a little bit more control, but you have fast speed, so you can kind of maneuver around. Super jump's a little bit annoying for him to punish, right?
Right.
So that's going to help you out just a little bit, but again, he controls the screen. This is his screen. He dominates this, right? So if you're playing very impatient, you're going to lose real fast with this character. And there's not much you can do to stop him. His air throw's good.
Very good.
Ground game's good. Fireballs are good.
His cross up, he'll cross you up all day.
Yeah, he's got
a
cross up.
That does a lot too.
Mm-hmm. His pressure's good. He's just good. Solid character, and especially in this matchup. This is a pretty hard matchup, I would say.
It's like sometimes it feels like 7-3 in my opinion. Sometimes
7-3, that's too much, man.
It feels horrible at times. It feels so hopeless.
I mean, I can understand it at like a neutral perspective, but it's definitely. I think it's a 6-4.
Okay, no, there's 6-4, sure.
I think it's 6-4 only because you're both trying to do the same thing to each other. Dimitri's a little bit better at it. Burst damage comes into play though. You both kind of do that. He doesn't really have like a solid like burst damagey kind of thing. Like at best, he can do his highest burst damage combo is to hit like EX Fireball into dashing DP, which does massive amount of damage, which none of the Dimitri players are doing for some reason still. But like that should, especially in the corner, that's gonna do like 80% almost. He does a ton of damage. But again, you have to hit people and you gotta get them in the corner. I understand, right? But yeah, both of you are doing the same thing. Your burst damage is a little bit higher, right? Overall.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's better at neutral than your character is in general, just controlling the pacing and stuff like that. And you have to play around this thing.
You got to play around with that, yes. If you can block and punish slowly, you're gonna slowly push him into the corner, and you're just gonna try to like keep him there with throws. You might even get a lucky confirm if he does something wrong. It's a slow-paced matchup, so don't expect it to end fast.
Yeah, you definitely got to take your time in this one. A lot of movement. You're gonna want to be around like right around here at best at all times, because if the closer you are, the more he's gonna punch and start hitting more buttons, and he might get a lucky sweep, and then he'll start doing his offense, which is annoying, because he'll just do some bat drill bullshit, and then you gotta guess, right?
What's so nice, if you block a bat drill in the air, you can actually punish with Li in the air.
Oh, so like it'll be something like
yeah, you have the chicken guard and you just Li.
Yeah, I understand where that's going for sure. Most of the time, the top Dimitri's only uses for Oki, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Yeah, this situation will only happen like against like mid-level Dimitris.
Yeah, if
they mess up, you get a punish or something like that. But overall, like, yeah, the matchup is you're going to be doing a ton of neutral, but he controls the neutral for the most part. You do big damage, so you need him to overextend and do something improper in the matchup. But he doesn't have to do shit, so he could just reactionally punish you for doing stuff, get his damage, and as soon as you're sleeping, like it's just going to land, the command grab super, and that's going to give him all the life back, right?
Right.
Like all the damage that he takes, as soon as he lands that, is back in his favor again, right?
Right. That's all it takes is one bite super into his favor in the corner to death.
Mm-hmm. So character's good in this matchup. It's definitely hard. All right, I think that's pretty much all the characters, man. So like overall, the matchup spread they're hard. You're gonna be working very hard for a lot of the matchups, right? But with a high degree of skill, you are rewarded for your execution and the work you put in with the character. Yeah, very good. Like frame traps does massive amount of burst damage. Good throw game, right? Normal throw game is good. Anti-air damage is decent or high depending on what you're trying to hit, right?
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
It's fair. Yeah, definitely. Like definitely a solid character, but some of these matchups can get very difficult or can get lopsided if you don't know the rules of the matchup, which is why we made this video. Because this character, she's very difficult, right? It's hard to describe some of the difficulties she goes through. So we wanted to kind of like make a video to kind of show how to like learn the character, have a research for it, and just get a general sense of the matchups and stuff. And just how you should kind of play the matchups. You can kind of deviate from the matchups depending on your playstyle. Not to say that you have to play the matches 100% to a T, how we were describing it, but it will help if you understand those tools that you have. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. You got anything else to add?
No, this is just a short tutorial series of Lilith because she's still really underrepresented. There's not a whole lot of Lilith players out there in A, and I'm some of the last few that still represents this character.
I know how this feels.
Okay.
The last Lilith.
So it's understandable because of just how hard the execution barrier is just to like get anything done. So it was Mar's idea to grab me and just try to explain my thought process too on what this character is all about.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's just about close it, man. So yeah, I'll probably do another one of these in the future. I think the next character I'll do, since I wanted to start off with the characters that I kind of put time into. If you don't know my history, this is my first character that I started off with. So this was the first character that I tried to learn, which is why I could do that weird, fucking TK loop for no reason, right? So, I could do the cool combo, but I dropped this character in favor of Bishamon, so that's going to be the next character tutorial that I'll probably do. And I'm going to attempt to get like a specialist. Hopefully I can do that, or I'll just do it by myself. We'll see how that goes in the future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll probably just close out the stream for now and hit you all up later. Time for some big dinner.
Thanks for having me, War.
Yeah, no problem, man. It was definitely fun to do. All right, time to close it up.